Happy Hanukkah, everybody. We're back.
And this was a tough one for you, Rudy. So tough, so tough, in fact, that we needed some friends to help get through this.
Yeah, so introducing two of our friends who have been on the show before, John and Luffy.
Bum biddy 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 bum bum. Bum biddy 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 bum.
All right, so Jad, what did we watch?
8 Crazy Nights. Film me and John were obsessed with back in middle school, but it staged like milk.
Okay, imagine if the edgiest teenager you know made a movie. That's this movie.
But unfortunately, it wasn't made by an edgy teenager. It was a film written by Adam Sandler, Alan Offert, Brad Isaacs, and book's author, and directed by animator Seth Kersley,
I think it is.
In his feature directorial debut.
Yeah.
Yep. And the title was inspired by lyrics from Adam Sandler's The Hananukah song, which was performed on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, so he decided to write a movie based on a song.
Yes.
Okay, you know what? I can't judge him too much. One of my favorite movies is Yellow Submarine. All right.
Well, it's not to mention there's really hardly any Hanukkah animated Christmas movies. So
that is true. I can't really think of any other Hanukkah movies. I think. I know of Hanukkah books because I work at a daycare, and a lot of the kids don't. Some of them don't celebrate, Christmas. They celebrate Hanukkah. So there are Hanukkah books that we read to them. Okay, so this was the only film produced by Meatpole Production, which was intended to be an animated division of Sandler's Happy Madison Productions. Oh, God. I can't imagine him making more animated movies.
Well, this one didn't do as well. It barely made its budget back, so they never did another one. I just feel bad for the animation team because, we'll get into it later, but the animation in this movie is one of the highlights.
Oh, okay. So we actually mentioned this. We watched the movie together, and it's towards the end, the very second to last song. In one of the scenes, everyone's dancing, but we all kind of noticed that nobody's eyes were closing.
No one's mouths were moving.
Out the animation was outsourced to 11 different animation studios.
Oh my God!
Yes, yeah. There was A Film Productions in Denmark, Bardell Entertainment in Canada,
then
Warzer Brothers, and Yowza Animation. You're next, Jad.
So, the film was universally panned from critics who hated the potty humor and product placement, and it was a box office bomb, costing $23 million against a $34 million budget. It wouldn't be until Hotel Transylvania where Sandler would produce another animated movie.
Dude, I would rather watch Hotel Transylvania than ever watch this again.
It's fair.
Yeah, and let's see. Oh, crap, I accidentally. Okay, there we go. And director Seth Kersley would later reveal how much influence focus groups and test screenings had on the film. Some of the more infamous scenes were intended to be a cut, that one scene that had Rudy grimacing, and Waddy was also going to have his voice changed to sound less high-pitched, but they remained intact after they received positive... Oh, sorry, I can't say this with a straight face. Why can't test screening approve of that? Shit.
I would have gotten a different test audience than that. I was if you're running it to this audience, maybe the audience is wrong.
I think that perhaps the most fascinating factor about these focus groups and all of this that is baffling considering the content of the film is that the product placements were used without permission.
Wait,
that
what? Really?
Explains that explains one scene in particular for me.
Okay, we're gonna get into it later, but
and you got it.
So Kersley would put together an animated pilot for a potential animated series adaptation of Kingdom Hearts. However, the series wasn't picked up as both Disney and Square Enix felt it would be able to keep the show consistent, and that actually kind of does make sense. I love the Kingdom Hearts
only
games,
one game was out by that point.
Yeah, but now it's so it is a little, as much as I love the games, I could see that being sort of a hard thing to make a series of.
The pilot did leak online, though, and people got to watch it. I watched it. I thought it was pretty decent.
Okay. So he now does sketch commissions online. So he's still making art, which is, a good thing.
Yes,
so
people are. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Seems to no longer be involved in, television production.
Yeah, he actually had a car accident recently, and that really changed his outlook on life. Yeah, he survived a car accident. I don't know the finer details, but he talks about it a lot. So one thing I know he still does is he still takes commissions for art from people. Like, people are requesting him to draw Whitey and Eleanor as One Piece characters. And he on his merch store, this is my last thing, I promise. On his merch store, he has stickers of Davy, Whitey, and Eleanor dressed as Sora, Riku, and Kairi as stickers, and I'm considering buying them.
I'm glad he's still making art, you know, but also I've noticed there's a lot of animators who, after working like in the industry, they just kind of prefer to go back to I just went to look at his Instagram. The first picture is a picture of Eleanor as Kevin from Home Alone, and Whitey and Davy are the bandits.
I'm gonna go look at this now.
Okay. So
for people listening, his Insta is at Seth Kearsley, SETHKEARSLEY, and his art is pretty fun.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a lot of pictures of like Eleanor and Whitey and Davy, but he also has drawn a lot of like Disney stuff. So like I am happy he's still, you know, doing work. Like I said, I think a lot of animators just sometimes realize, you know what, this is not really for me. I want to keep making art, but I don't want to be a part of the, you know.
It's a tumultuous, exhausting industry, yeah.
That's what happened to me.
Here's what I'm going to do. So, since you guys are more familiar with this movie, I am going to let you describe the plot a little, just because, see, there was a scene that I did close my eyes for, and I was just listening.
Okay, so
there are some parts I missed, so I'm going to let you guys start explaining the plot, and I will interject here and there.
As in me and Luffy, or me and Austin? Me, Luffy, and Austin?
Yeah, all three of you.
Okay, well, who wants to start?
I might as well go first. So unfortunately, the movie takes place in a small New Hampshire town called Dukesbury, where the for exposition about how it's the holiday season by, unfortunately, red-pilled anti-vaxxer Rob Schneider, who voices both the narrator and a very, very cringy Chinese stereotype.
He basically does a yellow voice, and it sucks.
And he does it the entire time, so unfortunately, he doesn't like just leave. He's going to be a part of the movie.
No, he shows up no less than 8 more times.
Oh, yes. Like if they, okay, so I would just say if he hadn't been in this movie, I think maybe I could have stomached this a little more. It's just they keep coming back to him, and he's not even a main character. I don't know why they kept going back to him.
Because Sandler and Schneider are friends, unfortunately.
He was considered comic relief, and in this particular case, and I'm not saying that he was funny or a relief, just that's why the character was there.
Yeah, he's neither. The comic relief, he's neither funny nor a relief.
He's really not. And it's like, again, we say he's not a main character. He just keeps appearing because, again, I guess like that. When was this movie released? Like
2002,
2002, yeah.
Okay, so we all, sort of grew up in the early aughts. I'm just gonna, one thing we've noticed is, a lot of the humor has not
aged well.
No, it hasn't. It is aged like milk. This is just his peak early aughts humor, trying to be as offensive as they possibly can.
Yeah, if I could pinpoint down my edgelord, everything pushing the envelope was funny phase, I usually look this movie square in the eyes when I think of that era.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, we'll introduce our main character, Davy Stone, a 33-year-old Jewish alcoholic with a criminal record, and he attempts to dine in the restaurant that the Rob Schneider, either a Chinese guy, works at. But, oh god, I forget about Rooty's reaction to this scene. He tries to open his car, but he's too drunk to put the key in, and the cops tell him not to drive. So, after a bit of sweet talk to his car, he dries hump it. Yeah, he just dries hump and even licks it. One of the cops is freaked out, but the other just smiles with a tear in his eye, as if going, "It's beautiful."
I only thought that was funny because it was absurd. Like the cop's reaction, that was it. The rest of it was just like, what?
It was
the scene goes on for way too long.
Yeah, it was a gag that went on far too long.
Yep. But when they realized he dines in that he was skipping out the bill, he steals a snowmobile and escapes, and that's where we get the first song. It's a musical, by the way. Basically a song about how Davy hates everyone, the holidays, and himself.
Not the best song.
No.
Not the best song, but definitely, I would say fairly good for an opening number because it does establish in a short amount of time who Davy is as a person. He is an alcoholic. He's a criminal. He hates everybody. He hates himself. And, we know he's a Scrooge from the beginning, so to speak.
Yeah, they really just wanted to hammer the point home in this movie. It's like, no, you are not supposed to like this guy. And congrats, I never did.
Yeah, I think that's might possibly also be one of the reasons the movie fails. We will get into it more, but it's like when we find out why he is the way he is, it still doesn't make him super appealing or likable. You'll get to it. All right.
So, at Davy's trial, a short man by the name of Whitey Duvall instead confesses to judge that since he knew Davy back when he was a kid on the Jewish basketball league, he got the rec center. He confesses to judge who instead sends him to community service as Whitey's assistant into the league. And the judge has agreed, but warns Davy that if he commits another crime during this, he'll go to spend 10 years in the state penitentiary. And oh god, this is why I blacked out so many parts about this movie, and because I haven't seen it in years. Because after getting a joke about Whitey's various physical deformity, he's from how his feet mismatched, his body hair, and his short stature. Does everyone else want to get this guy? I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, we fast forward mildly to the first game that Whitey is reffing and is having Davy come to ref with him. But, being the curmudgeon character that he is, Davy is not following any of the requirements. He doesn't want to take off his Timbs and to go on the court or anything like that. He's just a genuinely very abrasive and combative individual. He starts making fun of the players while they're playing. Mind you, these are children, including telling one fat child that he should get a bra because he's a fat baby. And all of this excitement leads to Whitey having a seizure. And this is where the ableism comes in, because
there's a lot of isms in this movie.
Yeah,
Whitey's seizures are exaggerated. They look less like a seizure and more like he's video game glitching while he makes this high pitched noise. It's just very, very, very stereotypical.
Yeah, he looks less like somebody having an actual seizure but more like an Elder Scrolls NPC that has had his physics turned off.
Yeah, he's like Bocce in that scene where she realizes that they want her to actually record her voice or whatever, and she glitches out just literally glitches in real life. But so, and it's obviously it's not intended, and it's very clear that it's not intended to make us pity the character. It's not just a bad representation of epilepsy. It's meant to be comedic.
Yeah, and I even back then I knew that was wrong because I don't know if Austin remembers this person, but I won't say their name, of course. But there was somebody I went to school with who did have epileptic seizures from loud, sudden sounds. Like even when we would have fire drills, like I would see them get escorted out of the building, and that's when I knew, oh shit, they're gonna do a fire drill. So and when I saw those episodes, I'm like, that doesn't look anything like what Whitey did in the movie. That's not only not funny, it's not accurate either.
No, and it's also just like, besides being ableist, it's like this is also sort of like a dangerous thing to sort of teach people that this is what a seizure looks like, because like then they won't be able to recognize a real seizure.
Yeah, because Austin and I also knew another person who thought that part of the movie was the funniest.
Oh
God! Was that the guy who ate his own dandruff?
Yeah, I wish you hadn't brought that up, but yes, I have to answer that. Yeah, it was him.
It's like it's like me and my passion for correct anaphylaxis reactions in media. I have so very many chronic illnesses, but one that shows up frequently in media is anaphylactic reactions, and they are almost never done right.
Oh, yeah. Like, people are going to be like, oh, why does it matter? Guys, you have to understand, even if you don't believe it, media does affect how people view certain things. And there's been a problem with how they like display mental illnesses and disabilities, because then people are going to take that and try to apply it to real life.
Yeah, just look at all the shit Native Americans went through.
Yeah, that was more to my point of like where I knew then that wasn't right, because I was exposed to somebody who had actually struggled with that. So if I hadn't, I would have probably taken the unfortunate approach of like, haha, he's moving around and making an E noise. It's funny. But I didn't have that reaction because of my experience.
I love you, 911 on ABC. I adore you, 911 on ABC. Never get your medical advice from a medical TV show either.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's like getting your autism information from The Big Bang Theory.
The Big Bang Theory.
Or worse, The Good Doctor.
Sadly, The Big Bang Theory could have been something, but the fact that Chuck Lorre was so resistant to the idea of his super genius being painted as autistic at all, and was mad that he accidentally created a character that autistic people and people with OCD identified with, and instead just like lashed out. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it did make me want to identify him. It made me want to kill him.
Okay, we should probably get back.
I was going to say yes.
Trying to get back on track.
Okay.
So yeah, they go to the. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. So Davey calls the game, and after the seizure, to calm him down, he takes Whitey to the mall, and the mall is something of a character in this film. I would say.
Yeah.
I would make that claim, because the mall is like the center of very many things. And this is where like the product placement comes in. Like they literally, Whitey goes to the mall to calm himself down. It's like his church. And in just like that first little, we were then like graced with a song about the mall, which
it's like a rhyme.
Yeah. At the mall.
Like a rhyme.
It's literally called At the Mall. And it drops, I want to say like at least 20 like different stores, probably more. Like
I think it was only outdone by the one spiel by Wayne Knight in Space Jam, where he said like a bunch of brands in one long sentence he said really fast.
Yeah.
This, oh fuck! Why did I close the Wikipedia?
I got it open. I got it open still.
It's okay. John can go next.
All right, so he goes to the mall, and Whitey's just talking about how the mall is very therapeutic for him, and Davey, of course, is very abrasive to him. And they also run across this woman and her young son, who turns out was Davey's old love interest when he was younger. And Jennifer, yes. And they come over and they bring Whitey a Bavarian cream themed donut, which he really enjoys. And he also, his son Benjamin tells him what he got for for the Hananukah on the first night. First, second, I don't remember which one. But Davey just continues to be a fucking asshole. Like anytime you say anything to him, he's got nothing nice to say. I knew people like this, so
he is rude to everybody here. Like, it's impossible for him to be nice even for a second.
And Whitey brushes most of it off up until he starts objectifying Jennifer, because he knows, like, not only is that extremely rude to her, number two, you knew this girl as a kid, and three, she just was dumped by her husband who was cheating on an eating site.
Yeah, it is noted that she is freshly divorced after presumably like 13 years of marriage. I think that they said
it was 13. You're correct.
Yeah, and has moved back home with her son to try to support them because the ex is not involved. And initially, Davey does not recognize her before he makes this sexist little comment about her ass. And then after he does, we are granted one of our first like flashbacks of old Davey as a 13-year-old boy, you know, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and not an asshole.
Yeah, and we also get Whitey. Turns out he had an afro.
Yeah, we still had white hair.
Mm-hmm.
I guess his genes changed well before then, or maybe actually, you know what? If I remember from a later picture they show of their house, he always had white hair.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he even had white hair in the prom flashback.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming he's just like Steve Martin.
Yeah.
In that particular.
Yeah, they wish Ronnie as a luck and win the patch at the fuck me if I can remember what it was called. They even had a whole song about it.
The 35th annual Dukesbury All-Star patch, so which is what Whitey's number one dream. Like he does odd jobs around town, but the one thing he wants to be is who he wants most of out of life is to be recognized for all the efforts he does for the town. Like he doesn't want a wife because he says he has an imaginary one. Doesn't want children. He just wants to be recognized for his hard work.
That's literally all he wants.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's also probably in part because at this point in his life, not only is he kind of, you know, on the older side, they said he's 70. So it stands to reason that maybe he thinks that, you know, a wife and kids is not on the table any longer. But he just is this relentlessly positive man who everyone very clearly takes advantage of, but he's so used to being stamped down and made into a joke that he has just absorbed that as if it were affection.
Yeah, it's just water off a duck's ass to him.
Yeah, turns out David's not the only jerk to him, right? Because this is where we get to the scene that made Rooty lose his shit.
Yeah, poor choice of words.
Did you have to use that word? Seriously?
No shit. I just wanted to.
And then you said it again. I
just realized what I said.
And then you said it again.
I just realized what I said. So Whitey's cleaning out porta potties at a construction site, but while he's hosing one off, Whitey slams the door on him and
Davey slams the door on him.
Yeah.
Davey slams Whitey into the porta potty, and in one of the more iconic scenes that was played in the trailer a billion times when it first came out, the porta potty slips down over the hill. Whitey climbs out of it covered in shit. He is disgusted by this, understandably, and Davey says, he will hose him off. But, of course, hosing him off freezes him into something of a shitsicle.
What joke they literally make later.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You go to the next part.
Yeah, and it's nightfall, and Whitey's still there frozen in water and shit. And these little deer come out. Like, he's friends with these deers, and they thaw him out by licking him. And they even get shit stuck between the teeth.
Yep.
So when you smile, you can see it.
And they spend thousands of dollars of animation to show you this.
I would like to note that when we say deer, we mean like actual deer. Whitey has some sort of very strange Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, like communication with the animals.
Oh my God. Snow Whitey and the Seven Deer.
Oh God. Oh God. Yeah, because the deer like keep showing up. They like follow Whitey and they actually listen to him.
Yeah, they seem to actually have a level of communication.
Yeah, which, by the way, Adam Sandler also voices all of the deer.
Adam Sandler was locked in that voice booth for this one. They trapped his ass in there. Locked him in there the way that they never, ever let Trey and Matt leave the voice booth for South Park.
They should have trapped him in there longer, I think.
Yeah, so I think it's just where we also meet Eleanor, Whitey's sister.
I think we're jumping around a bit because if you after the mall scene, Whitey takes him home, but this was my one inconsistent problem with the movie that I had. Because like he's driving him home, and Davey has a box of peanut brittle that he obviously did not buy. And Whitey threatens to call the judge if he screws up again. He's going to let this one go because, like, frankly, I don't even know how he did that. Of course, we're also skipping over that song where he sings about wanting the Duxbury Patch, but I'm not going to get into it because it involves men peeing their pants visibly.
And it's where we also introduce that one woman who has 3 breasts. Yeah,
you think she was a gag for that song, but you'll see her again like half an hour in. But anyway, Whitey kicks him out. But luckily for Davey, he's 10 feet away from his little rundown mobile home. And then Whitey attempts to drive away, but he gets stuck on a patch of ice, which, Jesus, I've been... When I first watched this movie, I didn't know what that was like, but now I'm like, yeah, I've been there. And he calls Davey for help, but Davey has the wherewithal to mock him, yell at him to shut up, and drink himself into a stupor. They're really trying to hammer in that this guy is an asshole.
And... You get the impression that he probably hasn't paid his bills for this like crappy little trailer home. And I can't totally remember how the fire started.
Oh, it's after
we're skipping ahead a little bit.
Yeah, we're skipping a bit. Whitey has David spent at the community center to serve unsportsmanlike to observe basketball on his conduct. But this one guy starts trash talking him and Benjamin, who Whitey's looking out for while Jennifer is working.
She's wearing a double shift at Dunkin' Donuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, so at first Davey and Whitey, he plays against him, saying the loser has to eat the fat guy's jackstrap. And it's where we get into more fat phobia.
Yeah, which if you noticed earlier, the guy who's jockstrapped, they're playing whether or not to eat, is the father of the little boy that they verbally abused for being fat.
Oh my God, how did I not notice that?
Seriously?
No, that must have slipped my mind.
When he goes and he cries to his parents in that scene, that first scene, it's the same guy, it's the same dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I
had noticed that.
You know, that scene made me cringe so hard. I kind of looked away when I saw that. So I was just like, okay, that's how I missed it.
Yeah. So it is unfortunate.
So at first, Avery and Benjamin gets along. Like, he teaches Benjamin how to play and gives him some advice on how to play better. And that's when Jennifer comes in and starts to see that maybe Davey's not all that bad, but when they win, Davey encourages Benjamin to swear.
Well, first he was playing with Whitey. He was
right.
He was playing with Whitey, but Whitey got knocked out by one of the bigger players who did a kind of like Space Jam Monstars, like ball to the face kind of smackdown thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so they put, Whitey on the bench, passed out, and stick his hand down his pants and he makes,
for no reason other than to be an ass.
It's like that era's version of teabagging or something like that. It's like, haha, hand your pants.
Fingers in your mouth, but I don't feel no teeth.
I seriously hated this movie. God. So
there's like a lot of I don't know what else to call it. Like, this is kind of a juvenile term for it, but potty humor.
Yeah, that's like, the best way to describe it.
I mean, I guess because it is juvenile, so like that is kind of the best term for it. It's just peppered throughout like the whole thing, and a lot of it at times is very jarring and not very funny. It just feels out of place. It lives up to that manatee joke, that Family Guy manatee joke kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where you're like, what the fuck does this have to do with anything?
I think
it's so pointless, and it kind of just takes you out of the story. It's like distracting.
I think the only reason they did half those jokes in the first place is like they probably because like how many cartoons have you seen for that time do stuff like that? So probably their entire thinking is like, well, shit, what? Like they were probably shooting the shit in the writer's room. It's like, oh, I haven't seen a cartoon do that. We should do that. And that's probably the entire thought process because I can't venture a guess as to why else they would do it.
I would make the argument that is how that all Adam Sandler films kind of were in that era. If you really think about, like, Waterboy had Rob Schneider's little "you can do it" like character, and like Billy Madison had like a clown dude that showed up here and there. There was the guy who got like titties on his head in Little Nicky. Like,
but Little Nicky was actually funny.
I did like Little Nicky.
Yes, Little Nicky was actually great.
That, like there weren't like things there, but do you see what I'm saying about how like these little side gags are just very common for Sandler movies? And they just animated it.
Yeah. This just feels like it's worse, though. Like, I'm going to be like, people are going to be like, oh, you're such a prude. No, I don't mind potty humor, but the thing is, this movie does it way too much. Yeah. And it's just constant. There's no break from it. You know?
They were probably in jokes that they thought were funny at the time, but like out of context, they just don't work. Like, for example, Austin, if we made... Like, you guys all know our Yeth bit from Super Bonus Round. And if we made a movie about that, without the proper context, would you guys find that funny at all?
No.
Like, it's a much lesser example. That's more, but like, this is probably like in jokes that they had that they all thought was funny, and they put it in without realizing, oh, maybe without context, this shit ain't funny.
Yeah, it's just too much. And like I've said, my thing is like I don't have an issue with potty humor. Like Shrek is filled with potty humor. Oh, yeah. But I feel like the potty humor doesn't take over the movie. There's still an actual story there.
Yeah, they were trying to like straddle the line between making what was obviously adult animation.
Yeah, like
and like trying to figure out where I think that a lot of adult animation, especially in the early era, suffered from this almost sketch comedy-esque like syndrome where they didn't think that they could do something like that with like a strong or overarching story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I remember like another example was one we reviewed on podcast, Fitz the Cow, where just about every second it's filled with drugs, violence, nudity, but it at least had a point there because it was a period piece about American culture during the 1960s.
Yeah, it had an actual point to it. It's just in this, it's like, let's just be gross and mean for the sake of it.
Mm-hmm.
And like, again, like even when, Davy starts like being kind of nice, he has to ruin it.
Yep.
And they even make the guy actually eat the jockstrap. And we see him doing it. It's so fucking gross.
It just it reminded me a lot of Billy Madison.
Yeah.
Like in its narrative structure and its humor. And that is not a compliment.
No. and honestly, I think Billy Madison's a better movie than this is.
The only thing that I would say makes this one better to me is because I just love animation, even when it's being used for evil.
Yeah, I think Billy Madison has a better script than this does, but the production value is much better in this one.
Yeah.
Despite the obvious.
And oh yeah, now we're getting into that song where Davey and Jennifer start singing about how different they were back as kids. And
well, she didn't really change. He did.
Yeah.
They reminisce about their childhood, and up until this point, we still do not have a solid understanding of why Davey went off the deep end.
Yeah, they just keep hammering. Oh, he wasn't always like this. He wasn't always like this, but they haven't told you why. What about him changed and why we should care yet.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, like, the song is actually pretty it's decent until we get to a certain line in the song.
Yeah, the transphobia.
Oh yeah, this one. There's no excuse for this one. None.
The song is, for context, is called "Long Ago," and in the middle they have a line where the mayor, for some reason, is being included in this. What was a duet? Where he says that his beautiful wife was once a he. But that was long ago, and we are subject to a incredibly trans-misogynistic caricature with, obviously we could tell this is still a man because she has, a 5 o'clock shadow and blah, blah. You know the type of caricature I'm talking about.
And it gets even worse because it's Alan Covert doing a gay lisp voice.
Yeah, that was also just yeah.
It's not even like Bugs Bunny in a dress funny. It's just
no, it's uncomfortable. See, like when Bugs Bunny did drag, it wasn't like ha ha man in a dress. It's like Bugs is full in these rubes, and Bugs, they had the thing where he's embraced it and like in newer stuff.
Yeah, that's why RuPaul said Bugs Bunny was a big influence on him getting into drag.
Yeah, but like it's just like haha, trans people are gross. And it's just and like again, the thing is, it didn't need to be there. The song would have been fine without that one line.
Yeah, because the mayor's not even in the song. Like Whitey Enough with his weird quips while he's sleeping. By the way, is bad enough.
So weird. But then the song ends because the dude who Davey made eat his jock, eat the fat guy's jockstrap, sets his house on fire
while it's still in his mouth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be completely honest, people are gonna think I'm probably cruel or something in this. I didn't care.
No, not. How many people in his 33 years of life, or like the 20 years that he's been mean, how many people has he pissed off? I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner.
So, Whitey offers Davey a place to stay with him, and this is where we introduce his sister, Eleanor, who's short and fat like he is with mismatched feet, and also played by Adam Sandler, but to his credit, he does sound like a different character in voicing Eleanor.
Yeah, he's basically doing an impression of his real life aunt.
Mm-hmm. So Eleanor's sorry.
So for context to that, if you can imagine a stereotypical New York Jewish aunt, that's kind of the voice that he puts on.
And she's a shut-in because not only is she bald, but many years ago, someone stole one of her wigs, which made her extremely paranoid.
Yeah, and she loved that wig.
Her specific wig, it was her Elizabeth Taylor wig, is what you said?
Yeah, it was her prized Elizabeth Taylor wig.
Yes. And all of her wigs are styled after movie stars and named as such. She is the prototype for Moira Schmidt in that case. I'm sorry, Moira shit, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. And then we go into another song because because of course no one else is going to let Davey stay with him, and Whitey being too nice allows Davey to stay, but since Eleanor is so like agoraphobic, and they've been living together for like I think he said 78 years.
Well, I think she was 70 because like they're both 70, but I think she's been a shut-in since high school.
Yeah. So of course he's like, there's specific rules you have to follow, and they go into technical foul. And
to be fair, Eleanor was pretty funny during this song.
Eleanor's one of the
She is actually really funny.
Yeah, she is one of the funniest characters in the movie. I will admit that.
I will admit that too. Like Eleanor made this watchable for me.
I have to pause just for 1 second. Moira's last name is not Shit. Schitt's Creek's the name of the fucking town. It's Moira Rose. I don't know why I blanked on that. Anyway, yes, we're also subject to the fact during this song that Eleanor apparently is like an expert in self-defense.
Yeah. She will kill you.
And she makes it known.
So, yeah, after the song, Davey realizes he's gonna have to try to make the most of it. And, incredibly short montage, like, real short, but Davey starts to enjoy the company, and vice versa. But then, at the skating rink, where first Davey votes for Whitey for the patch. And... this is where they talk about how Davey's past, about how you should play basketball.
Yeah, because Eleanor asked, but then Whitey, my one criticism of Whitey comes in this one scene where he tells Eleanor about why Davey quit basketball, why he became the way he was, and it's revealed that during one of the I think they called it the JCC Miracle Game. Davey's parents tragically died in a car accident. They hit a patch of black ice, and they ran into an 18-wheeler truck. They couldn't get out of the way in time. And Davey, as you would expect from a 12-year-old boy that suddenly lost his parents on one of the nights of Hanukkah, just shuts down. Like, he shuts out everyone who tries to comfort him. Whitey, the coach, the love of his life. Like, he just becomes a different person overnight. Because honestly, as a 12-year-old kid, what the hell do you do? Like, I barely remember how I was when I lost my dad like a year ago. He lost both of his parents at the age of 12.
And not only that, but he clearly did not have a support system, because they said that he was immediately shuttled into the foster system and went from foster home to foster home. So
yeah, you could imagine, like, if you think Davey's an asshole, imagine the environments he was around being passed around like that. Like, he was passed around like yesterday's trash.
Okay, so, because it also seems like maybe he didn't have any extended family, because I guess maybe the grandparents weren't around either, because it just seems like they automatically said he went to foster home, but I was like, he didn't have any extended family whatsoever.
Yeah.
I just thought that was a little odd, because normally what they'll do is they will look to extended family and ask them to take the kid in. They don't automatically just put them into the system.
Yeah, so that means that he likely didn't have extended family or any available family. Either said they, one, didn't want to take him, or two, were deemed unfit for one reason or another.
Yeah. But, so here's the thing. I want to say that before anybody gets it twisted, I am not trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? Act like this is not a very tragic thing that happened to him, but at the same time, I am in the same line as Rocket Raccoon. Everyone hurts, but that doesn't mean you get to make more hurt along the way. I get that he's hurting, but that doesn't mean he gets to be an asshole to every single person, especially as an adult. As an adult, he can go and get the help he needs. I am sorry. I still don't give a fuck about this character. He is absolutely terrible to every single person, especially Whitey, and Whitey's trying to help him. He's about to be sent to jail for 10 years, and all he does is insult and belittle Whitey this entire time. Oh, my parents are dead. A lot of people have dead parents, asshole. We all lose people. It's not an excuse to just then treat everyone in the world like they're the problem.
Yeah, there's a bit of a disconnect, because like there's a human moment when he's a kid, but it skips to when he's 30. He's just a prick.
Yeah.
I think that they wanted to have this emotional note that gave you context and hope that you, I guess, would sympathize with the character and his journey, but after all of his other behavior, it fell flat.
Yeah, and up until this point, this is one of the very, very few times I will defend Davey. One of the few I must stress. As horrible as Davey's reaction is to this being shared, that was not Whitey's story to share, because Davey did 2 times and politely tell Whitey, okay, can we please not talk about this? This story is making me very uncomfortable.
Yeah, like
that is, I will agree.
Now, please.
Because also Eleanor keeps pushing Whitey to finish the story, which was, not okay, but even still.
Well, she's a shut-in. She has very poor social skills to begin with.
To be fair, she didn't know it was like a tragedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she had been, it was since high school, so it's like, of course she doesn't know. But then it's just, what Davey does afterwards is just a little too...
Yeah, he just blows up. He just blows up right then and there. Like, all the goodwill is just gone in that moment.
And he even tells, like, Whitey, nobody in the town cares about him. He grabs Eleanor's wig and takes it off her hair, which is also just a little too much. And then I think he's going to go on a bus to New York, I think?
Yeah, that's where he wants to run away to.
That's when he gets drunk and breaks into a mall.
Yep.
Okay. This scene is going to probably be so confusing to younger viewers.
Because as he just shouts out Jennifer's name because he defended Whitey and called Daviana's behavior, he just starts cursing her name in the middle of the empty mall. But before he leaves, all the logos for all the stores in the mall come to life and try to make him turn it around.
They're one of the most banger songs on the soundtrack. He has a full-on drunken hallucination of the various mall logos, including 2 little toys from a toy shop that were played by Dylan and Cole Sprouse when they were little baby bits. A chair from the Sharper Image, the dude from the Foot Locker, like the posing like dude with the hands on his hips, a big ass bottle of pills from GNC, and a panda from Panda Express, a big cup of coffee, and a floating sentient dress from Victoria's Secret, played by Tyra Banks.
So
remember her, everybody?
Yeah. So I was going on the Wikipedia article for like who played all the cameos and logos. So Chris Farley's brother Kevin Farley was the Panda Express panda.
Oh wow.
Carl Weathers was the GNC bottle.
Yep.
I knew that voice sounded familiar, but also Tom Kenny
was the Sharp Image chair.
Yeah, the voice of SpongeBob, and the Ice King is the voice of the Sharper Image chair.
Tom Kenny has a voiceover list that would surprise.
Oh yeah, he's a very prolific man. Despite still being SpongeBob, he still gets a lot of work. But so see, all 4 of us were talking about how if somebody younger than us watched this, they would be really confused because Radio Shack doesn't exist. C's Candy is now a seasonal thing. Sharper Image I don't think exists anymore. KB Toys is also gone. So if you have never don't know what these stores are, you would be really, really confused. But also I can't tell, was he drunk and he imagined this?
Yes.
I was trying to.
Yeah, because he had a flask and he threw it at the alarm when it went off.
Yeah. He was super duper drunk. All of these toys sing a very banger song trying to encourage him to cry, that he needs to release his emotions. He needs to stop just being an angry little bitch all the time and emotionally constipated and address what is actually upsetting him. And he finally opens the card from his parents, which he had, run back into his trailer to get, which was apparently we see in the original flashback the only thing to have survived the crash. And it is a lovely Hananukah card from his parents to their, baby boy. And it makes him finally break down and realize he's been a terrible asshole, just as the cops come and find him breaking and entering.
And I'm not gonna lie, the scene where his parents are singing to him actually got me teary-eyed. It does
for me.
It's an actual good scene. It is a genuine scene. I will give it that.
Only undercut by all the Copen logos.
Yeah, when half of them are dead.
Exactly. See, that's another thing. Is I read somewhere where someone said, "Hey, when you're writing a story, be it a book or something, don't try to reference brands too much, because then when new readers who are younger come, they'll be what the fuck is KB Toys? I've never heard of that." This just really dates the movie a lot.
Make it timeless, not timed.
Exactly. Plus, I think Luffy, you said they didn't get the rights to any of these. Did they?
They didn't use it with any permission.
Apparently they didn't, which is fascinating that they did so much name drops for these brands without any permission.
And drawing the logos in the animation. And it also explains why they got away with GNC sexually harassing the Victoria's Secret dress.
Yeah, they keep making that. It's like a box of pills keeps making comments about her boobs and stuff. It's like, and technically, she doesn't really have boobs. She's just a dress.
It's just a dress on an invisible woman.
Panda bear.
She's like if the invisible woman was wearing a dress.
Yeah, basically, it's again, it's a really weird scene. But the police come, and somehow Davy is fast enough and clever enough to get away from them, and then what does he do? He
he handcuffs them in such a way so it looks like one of them's fucking the other.
Because
they're just and one of them just goes, "Well, this is embarrassing."
Yeah, because someone's gonna have to find them like that because they can't get themselves out.
Yeah.
Before we move on though, speaking of voice actor trivia, not the singing voices, but the few lines that they have. Davy's parents are voiced by Adam Sandler's actual parents.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Not the singing voices. They were different.
I can see. Oh, and the love interest is voiced by his current wife.
Oh, well, I didn't know. Davy's mom was played by Ann Wilson, who is the lead singer of Heart.
Oh, wow.
Really?
And Mr. Stone. Yeah, Mr. Stone's singing voice was Richard Page. Yes, I didn't want to bring that up later because this is the only time you're ever going to think about Davy's parents ever again.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. So, what happens next?
This is where Davy tries to run away to New York.
Yeah, he's gearing up to get on a Greyhound and skip town when the
bus gets a flats. Like, someone left a little what are those things called? Little
thumbtacks?
Thumbtack, yes.
Oh, yeah.
One single thumbtack blows out all 10 of his wheels.
Yeah,
it's a powerful ass thumbtack, apparently.
Don't understand thumbtacks.
It's obviously supposed to be some sort of Christmas miracle. I guess, like, God is telling you that you need to deal with your shit.
Apologize and turn yourself in, you little bastard.
Yeah, so Davy takes it as a sign that he needs to apologize to Whitey. And so he sneaks up to see him, but the reindeer who came to see Whitey, they don't trust Davy, but he managed to convince him that he's changed by giving himself a wedgie.
He literally asked them, if I give myself a wedgie, will you believe me? And they're like, yes.
For some context, it is currently the Dukesbury All-Star Patch Award thing, a gala, and that is what Whitey is at with his sister Eleanor, who is out in public for the first time in a long while.
Yeah, and then the first person that talks to her is the guy who stole her wig in high school, Eli Walston.
And he's in his probably his 50s now, and he apologizes and gives her wig back, and she fucking jump kicks it.
Yeah. I kind of think he deserved that scene, as how that's probably the reason she didn't leave the house for years.
And then and then before she leaves, she takes his hand and puts down his pants. In this moment, that joke is funny.
Yeah. Because you don't expect it coming from her. She's so scared all the time, but it turns out she's not as passive as we think she would be.
Yeah, she does have a sense of humor, which is what I love about her. Like, she's like, yeah, I'm afraid, but now that I'm coming out of my shell, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Oh yeah, and the man makes a pretty bad joke, which this is a scene that also made me cringe.
I think this confused all of us too.
Yeah, until I remember what Jennifer's son said. She's like, "Was that joke really that funny? I didn't get it." She's like, "No, they're just trying to be nice to the mayor to make him feel better."
Okay, but see, how do we explain this? How do we start?
Okay. So the gala is, like everybody in town is there, and Davy's watching outside the window in the snow and cold or whatever because he wants to see if Whitey actually wins. And Kevin Nealon's mayor comes up and makes a really shitty joke about the hard, if I didn't have so much work at the hardware store, this year, I, could have had time to write a better joke.
Yeah, it was the world's worst. Aren't you glad I didn't say banana joke?
And
yeah, basically.
The crowd goes wild. Everybody is laughing their asses off. Whitey crawls onto the table. Eleanor is doing a little.
She's doing the Charleston.
Yeah, she's doing the Charleston.
Thank you. I couldn't remember.
These kids shoot snot out their noses, and the deer start laughing so hard they begin shitting themselves.
And the Rob Schneider's racist Chinese restaurant character removes his shirt and is banging his head on the table. Basically, everybody, it's the fucking end of days. I don't know why everybody went that
Somebody
fucking crazy.
Released laughing gas or something. It's just so weird, and then they don't talk about it afterwards. It just happens.
They're going way too hard to be polite.
It's just weird.
For the next line, John said, the little boy Benjamin leans over to his mom and is like, was that even that funny? She's like, oh, they're just trying to make the mayor feel better or whatever. But are they? Because how the fuck did those children spew so much snot, like it was milk they were drinking out of their noses? Everybody is in hysterics.
Yeah, how the Joker has that laughing gas that makes people laugh so much they freaking die. That kind of feels like what's happening here. It's like somebody released the Joker's laughing gas and they're all about to pass out. They're just laughing.
That would be a better ending.
It is ridiculous.
It was
that actually probably would have been
sleeper phrase for all of them to just go and say.
And see, then they just go back to the ceremony like nothing happened. It was just so weird.
It was quite strange. So, of course, Whitey does not win the patch. They give it to John Lovett's cameo.
Random ass cameo.
Who is a dude with a hook for a hand.
Hook for a hand, yeah.
And
why, we don't really know. He just has a hook for a hand.
He bought a scoreboard for the community center. So that's basically why he's getting it. And in a sad little moment, Eleanor and Whitey, they leave.
Yeah, because they learned that apparently the only way to win the Dukesbury patch is not through hard work and dedication. It's give the mayor money.
Yeah, basically.
Meritocracy is a myth, even in cartoons.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Although, to be fair, I think that popularity is probably also a part of it. And as we have seen throughout that entire film and that song that follows right after this, Whitey is not a popular man. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all unbelievably cruel to him. And that's when Davey... Oh, sorry, Luffy, you going?
Okay, so just a quick thing. This is another thing. So I sometimes get really frustrated when movies or shows do this. There's no way in hell the entire town would be this cruel to just one man. Even if he is disabled and they look down on him, not everybody would be this cruel because, see, Davy comes in and actually says Whitey deserves it. And they even make a joke and all the people in the room laugh. I'm like, there's absolutely no way they would all be laughing like this. The only person not laughing, I think, is Jessica and her kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's be fair. We were just talking about how they were only laughing to humor the mayor. So they just had an excuse to reuse that animation again.
Probably.
I mean, to be fair, again, we've seen throughout this entire film, just from the way that everybody treats Whitey, despite his very cheerful and kind disposition, they do treat him as a joke. They're just mean. And so, yeah, Davey comes in and he's like, Whitey deserved this patch. And we as a town, all of us have been treating him like fucking assholes. And they go into a bum, bitty, 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 bum.
Yeah, they do this through the best song in the film. Maybe it may not be one of the best written songs ever written, but holy fuck is it catchy. That bum bitty bitty bum bum lyric has lived in my head for 24 years.
And it's become a TikTok thing.
Yep.
Oh my god. Enjoy TikTok while you can.
But see, the thing is throughout the song, they're all saying all this stuff Whitey did. Like he managed to be a TV antenna for some guys trying to watch the game.
And he gets electrocuted.
One heartless bitch said she asked him out to prom. I'm sorry, I hate it when people do that, but it's just like, they all sort of realize, man, we really are terrible people, and Whitey's just always been so nice.
Yeah, it's like the one guy watching football says we should all rot in hell.
Yeah, because he let this poor dude for like no money play rabbit ears on his old ass television. I'm sure the children do not remember that, but when TVs used to have antennas to receive a signal, people would have to adjust those antennas or jerry rig them with like hangers and stuff to get reception. And this ended up with this dude being, electrocuted.
He was even fried like Looney Tunes style.
Yeah, it was like Looney Tunes style. But they all are slowly realizing that they really, really mistreated him. And yet, and Davy points out that even after that, the next time, you'd see him, he would still be kind and he would ask about your mother's operation or whatever. Like he remembered everybody and he was just a genuine and a kind person. And I'm not exactly sure where the trope of the town, everybody in town hates this person came, but you also see it in school settings too, everybody, even the teachers fucking hate this kid, like Carrie. And I'm not exactly sure where that originated. It sometimes does feel very
over the top.
Unrealistic.
It's just click theory. It never leaves high school, unfortunately.
Both John and me, we've seen the movie Wicked. I've also loved the musical. Mm-hmm. It was another thing in that where it's like, okay, this is a world.
Yep.
This is a world filled with magic. The animals can talk. People can fly. There is a city that's made of emerald, and you all are gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, this person is green.
This motherfucker is green."
It's just. I know, they try to do the message of, this character has faced a lot, but it's like when you do that, it's like even if there are people who, despise one person, there's still going to be good people who are like, this is wrong. What you're doing is wrong. And the fact they don't have the only people in the town who like Whitey end up being Jennifer and Davy.
No, it just seems mourns the wicked.
Jesus Christ. Okay, but it just...
No, I totally get what you're saying. And I see this, we see this a lot in anime and manga and anything that takes place in a school where everybody is on this one, kid. But apparently that does kind of happen from the research that I've done over there because of the fact that they're in these isolated classrooms rather than kind of moving around from class to class. And there's the desire that for conformity to the point that it's well, if you're getting bullied, you must be doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that's different than an entire town just hating on this one person.
I don't know if they necessarily hate him, but they just like making fun of him.
They see him as what is the TV trope stand for? A butt monkey.
Yeah, he's just a butt monkey. They don't hate him, but anytime they make fun of him, he just brushes it off, so they all think it's okay.
It's kind of like Jerry and Parks and Rec, or Jerry and Rick and Morty. If you people are
except
just
Jerry deserves it. Jerry deserves it.
Jerry and Rick and Morty has some deserved it. Jerry and Parks and Rec has done nothing wrong in his life ever.
But also, we notice in this scene, like we mentioned, that the animation was spread out throughout a bunch of companies.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is the bitty bum thing. it starts with one of the police officers and that really racist character dancing. It zooms out to everyone dancing. People's mouths are not moving and their eyes are just wide open. It is some of the weirdest animation I've seen. And the animation, despite the movie is, the animation is really, really good.
Oh, and the one thing we didn't bring up when they were all laughing, there was the basketball coach. He was still there. He's still the same age, and he's doing like the Jewish kick dance, and he's doing that throughout the entire night. Like
I think they reused that animation. Didn't they?
He keeps doing it.
Probably.
There are some that say to this very day, sometimes you can still hear in that night him doing the dance.
I mean, like, obviously, like, my guess is with that scene, and it wasn't just the budget, it was the fact that it was a crowd scene. And back in the day, computer animation wasn't, so much a thing. There was less copy paste, and they were just, reusing clips of certain and like reusing animation as much as they could.
Oh, good Christ! I'm trying to imagine them remaking that scene with like 3D crowds and anime. Like it would look like the fucking terrible Berserk anime that they put out a couple days ago. Oh God!
They should just remake that scene like Kingdom Hearts.
No, wait.
No one.
I was gonna say like, no, this is WB. This is safe from being Kingdom Hearts. Although Seth Kersley has tried to connect the two very much.
Okay, so then after that song, I guess everybody has like a change of heart.
Yeah.
And they find Whitey at the mall. And this is also like the first time I think Davey has ever said I'm sorry to anybody in this film.
Yep.
And then so all the people come to the mall because now see, this actually was kind of sad because like Whitey was like, I guess, talking to the mall like it's like God or something. And like you actually see the panda cry. The panda for Panda Express is crying.
Yeah, Foot Locker mascot guy.
Okay, so Davey didn't hallucinate this. They are alive.
No, see, that's why I asked. I was so confused. So because I thought it was a hallucination at first.
I think that it's intended to be, but at the same time, it's that liminal space, that Christmas magic.
That Hanukkah Christmas magic.
Christmas Hanukkah's magic. That I just I find it amusing because he really, like I said, the mall is like a character. It's like his church. It is like his church, and he's talking to like the mall god and basically saying he thinks he's going to move away to Florida,
where they have nice malls. Which I've been to the Jacksonville one. It is pretty nice.
Yeah, like they have other malls. Don't worry, mall. I didn't cheat on you. And
I think we need to see out the malls.
And so then we get like the town coming in and being like, Davey being like, I'm sorry, and all of them being like, we're all sorry. Have the patch, and then in what is actually kind of a sweet scene, all of the previous patch winners also taking off their patches and giving them to Whitey.
Even the three-breasted woman.
Because she won 3 years in a row.
I was going to say she won 3 years in a row.
And the 32nd and the 30th. The first and the 30th.
And here's the thing. It's like this would have been such a great scene to just end on. But they ruin it. It goes out on Whitey having another seizure, and that's how they end the movie.
Yeah, you can easily just cut that. Like, just have that stain where it goes black. Just stop it there. It would have been fine.
Yeah, I don't know why they had to do that.
Because they wanted it to be funny, and it wasn't funny.
Well, you had several chances to be that, and you failed.
You're so bad at it, Mr. Sandler.
Here's the thing, like, Adam Sandler can be genuinely funny.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes he tries too hard.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that. Just be genuinely funny.
That's what I find so frustrating about the movie. Like there is, and I'll say more when we get to our final score. There is a very good movie buried here. The animation is spectacular despite some of the things it depicts. There's a decent script structure. It's not told well, but it has a decent plot points that it goes from. How it gets there and how it alleviates with comedy is terrible.
The music is not that bad.
No, and the songs are great, mostly.
Again, with some adjustment, it really could be very good.
Yeah, if you pick this apart, I think it would almost be like an 8 out of 10 at best. Like not spectacular like Home Alone or Christmas Vacation, but close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that Adam Sandler also really depends not just like on like the story and the execution, but who he's like working with.
Yep.
And his little core group of friends often does not produce nearly as quality stuff.
Yeah, Rob Schneider's in it, of course.
Yeah, and here's the thing: we know Adam Sandler's talented. I think did he win an Oscar for Uncut Gems?
I think he was at least nominated.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was.
I bring this one up more than once. Murder Mystery, where he and his Jennifer Aniston plays his wife, and they go and solve like an international murder that they accidentally get tied up in. Very funny. It was good. I liked it.
Yeah, he is really funny. It's just I think he sometimes, I don't know, for some reason feels like he has to, what's the word? Compensate.
I think he needs to not write himself. If you give him a good script, he will be great. Case in point, Hotel Transylvania. He produced the movie. He did not write it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he actually does a good job with Dracula, like sort of like, because in the first movie, there's a lot of him focusing on wanting to keep Mavis safe because, you know, he lost his wife, she lost her mom. Like, he is really talented. It's just like you said, I think it's bad when he's writing stuff for himself. I feel like maybe he's sort of grown out of that, though, just because he's not doing it as much as he used to.
And he's got
I heard Leo was actually good. Sorry.
Leo?
You heard what?
Yeah. Oh, yes, I heard that was good.
It's that animated movie where he voices a lizard pet out of elementary school class who thinks he's dying, and he tries to encourage the students to let him out so he can experience one day his final days outside in the world.
Yeah, it just seems like after he like when he's not like making stuff himself, he can be really, really good.
Yeah.
So I think it's just better when, however, the thing is he has written some decent stuff and he has produced some good stuff. The show You're Not Invited to I'm not sure if it's a show or a movie. It's called So Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah. I've actually heard that was pretty good too.
He also, that's with his daughter. His daughter is starring in that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's his actual daughter.
Yeah, it's just, I think, and surprisingly he wrote Leo. So maybe he's just gotten better over the years.
The movie has an 83% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh.
I wonder if maybe it's also like just a matter of editing with the writing. He needs less yes men and people to be like, no, this doesn't fucking belong here.
Yeah, this movie clearly did not have a lot of no's.
As a writer, please get an editor who's going to be honest with you, okay? You want someone who's going to tell you, it's like, I love you, but this part of it is crap. You need to get over it. Like, get rid of it. Just, you need someone to actually sit down and be like, okay, this, like, you're great, you're talented and everything, but this part of, like, what you're writing is not great.
Yeah, this movie was written by 4 people, so I think at least one of them should have gone elsewhere.
And weirdly, I think he does actually act very well across children. Like, one of his better films, some of his better films have been, like, in my opinion, a lot of people really liked Big Daddy.
Yes.
And I thought Just Go With It, his first film with Jennifer Aniston, was pretty good. He did really good with her kids. Not her kids, but her character's children.
Mm-hmm.
And in it, I think he actually does play across kids fairly well. And like, as much as I didn't like Billy Madison, the kids very clearly liked him.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Like, I kind of like the movies where who can still be rough around the edges, but the stories and the subject matter is mainly lighthearted. Like, oh, he's got to go back to school. Oh, he's got to win a golf tournament. Oh, he's a lizard who connects with his past students.
Yeah. My favorite Adam Sandler movie is actually Happy Gilmore, because I think that's him at his peak. Honestly, I
do like Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, like that's because I firmly believe, and this is the ironic thing, when he'd established a production studio for these is when they started getting bad.
Yeah. And yeah, so I think I'm gonna be honest. Like, the thing about me is it wasn't just like the potty humor. It was just, again, the character. I really hate it when people have these characters, like something traumatic happens to them, so they become an asshole. Well, I hate to break it to you, buddy. Everybody experiences trauma. You are not special. And it's just not enjoyable to watch. Like, there's nothing redeeming about Davy. You can have characters who are kind of assholes and still make them, like, interesting and fun, like Deadpool. Everybody loves Deadpool. He's funny and he's witty. He's clever. He's got charisma. But Davy doesn't have anything.
I think Davy did have a character arc, but it just wasn't handled well. I think it was either rushed or too slow.
Well.
It has an arc. He does get redeemed. But how they got there, I think it didn't work.
Because like you can, if you were to break it down by like how a story arc works, narratively, you see those beats like happening. You see he begins, as an asshole. He starts to change. We learn the dramatic backstory. He has that dip that, we often have right before like the final act, like where the character relapses somehow into their assholery.
Mm-hmm.
And then gets better. But like, I think that it took too long. It took it was over halfway into the movie when he moved in with Whitey and started changing as a person. I think that the first part of that needed to be shorter, and the montage where he's like developing into a nicer human being needed to be longer.
Yeah, show more scenes of him like coaching a good basketball. Like maybe show him at a basketball game and have his mental breakdown about what he think about his kids. Like maybe it's the same night of Hananukah that year, and that's when the trauma comes back. Like that would have been more natural than, oh hey, let me trauma dump somebody else's trauma, because then that made me hate Whitey a little bit there.
I mean, like even that scene, it's just that for me, all the stuff that had come before that. We saw him like kind of bonding with Whitey and Eleanor, but we really didn't get a lot of on-screen time of him actually acting nicer and improving as a person.
Yeah, they were just focused on jokes about like him shaving his hairy chest and a unibrow, and then they just skip right to the trauma and the breakdown scene. It was like if you went to the bathroom during that, you would have never seen that shit.
Yeah. It was not going to hit as hard on an emotional note if you don't actually take the time to show the attempt at improving. Then you're also not going to feel as much about the relapse like era of that. Because, like the big fight before the characters get, it happens in romance movies too. Like, they think they're going to get together and then they have like a big blowout where like the gimmick of the movie typically comes out. You were dating me for a news article.
Yeah.
And, their blow up fight. And then we, see them chasing the other person down in a airport or whatever. But like, you have to have all that bonding of them, like as a couple first, for us to care that the Playboy who was writing this article actually was falling in love with this woman. And similarly that, Davy was improving as a person and forming this bond with Whitey and Eleanor. Does that make sense?
No, it makes perfect sense. Like one of the things I've noticed about a lot of like the bad stuff me and Jad review, two of the major issues will be the pacing and lack of development in characters. And this is one of them. Like when we reviewed Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, one of our main issues is just we didn't care about any of the characters at all. They were all such nothing burger characters, and it can be like you have to have a balance. You have to make them okay. I'm going to use another example from Wicked. Like a lot of people are like, "Oh, Glinda's the real villain." Well, no, Glinda's been like kind of spoiled her whole life. That she gets the one thing she really wants, she doesn't get it. The person who she admires is like, fuck you, you're nothing. And you can tell it's really bothering her because she doesn't know how to handle this. And the thing is, she tries to do good things throughout like the movie / musical, but she doesn't realize, they could possibly not end up the way she wants them. She's not necessarily a perfect person, but that doesn't make her evil. She's just flawed. There are layers to the character. You have to give the characters layers, and Davy just doesn't have any.
Yeah, it's more clear in the book, but you know, at its core, Wicked is like a political story, and you know, it's about how the wizard basically uses his manipulation tactics to become essentially a dictator of Oz, and turns the entirety of Oz against Elphaba because they need an enemy, a common enemy. No, nothing unites like a common enemy, and that is a political tactic. And when it comes down to it, Glinda is not necessarily a bad person. She is just someone who is not ever going to be a revolutionary.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just, it's different political journeys. I don't think she's the real villain. The real villain is the man. It is the wizard.
Jeff Goldblum.
And before anybody says it, oh, you guys are spoiling it. Guys, the book is 29 years old.
And the musical is almost 20.
Yeah, so like the thing is I think they, you know, you can have a character who is flawed and still have them be the hero, the main character. I just think the problem is they leaned too much on Davy being an asshole. And I don't know if they did it because they thought it was funny or if they thought, well, once we give his tragic backstory, everybody will like him, but it just doesn't work.
I think that like an anti-hero story is fine, but it's also hard to like balance that with what they also wanted to have, you know, like an adult film, but they also wanted to have like a traditional schlocky Christmas movie. Like,
it just didn't work.
Yeah, I can see it. The way I see it is like we're all in agreement. It's like we can see what they were trying to do. They did not pull it off.
Yeah, the desire was there. The execution was bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, because like it would be different if it was like, oh, that's not what they went for at all, and people were trying to like retroactively put that in there. But like, no, I see what they're trying to do. I don't like it because you did it wrong.
Okay, so is this where we get to the scores, or?
Yep. I'm gonna let you guys go first.
Luffy, you want to go? I think I talked a little bit more than I should have.
No,
you're fine.
You guys could you can go first. Actually, I forget. Is this out of 10 or 5?
You guys do like you guys do like 5, and then if I remember correctly, because I've been binging the podcast recently, it's like -5 to 5, I think.
Yeah.
So okay, if you want me to go first, I will. I'm gonna give this movie a 3.
Wow! Holy shit!
Or hold on, -5 to somewhere around 2 or 3. Because like, look. It gets a big bump from the animation. It gets a big bump from like the last 2 songs being bangers that have stuck with me for 22 years. Like we were saying, I can see what they're trying to do. And I know Adam Sandler is actually talented and actually funny under the right circumstances. This is not one of those scenarios. Like, it's over reliant on potty humor that unless you really think that stuff is funny or you're a young kid who doesn't know any better, it ain't going to hit for you. And I think Davy's arc, while I know what they were trying to do, and it is there, it's just not done well. It should have been paced out better. They were so heavily focused on trying to make you laugh, they forgot to make you feel something else too. So, yeah, there are a couple of good jokes in there. Eleanor is I didn't think I would say this growing up. Eleanor is probably the funniest character in the whole thing. Whitey's got a couple of zingers in there too. Yeah, your horn works, try the lights. I actually got a good laugh out of that. But well, not just Davy, but a good chunk of the talent. Like, they remind me of the Who's in the live action How the Grinch Stole Christmas. They're just terrible. And even when they redeem themselves, I'm like, I don't care. I think you all should have something horrible should happen to you. Like that laughing gas thing. That's probably how you should have gone out. The Joker should have come in. The Joker should have come in with the Joker fish, and it could have happened because I think Warner Brothers distributed this. No, it was
Sony.
No, it was Sony. Never mind. I don't know. Maybe the Green Goblin like turns you into skeletons with his atom bomb. Out, am I? But yeah, I think I want to be a little generous because like I still have somewhat of a spot. It's like a terrible family member. You know they're a bad person, but you know they can be better. You wish them better, but you kind of don't want to see them as often as you because you know there's something wrong with them. But you can't help but love them anyway. You know what? Let's go with 2.5.
All right. Who wants to go next?
What about you, Luffy?
Are you sure you don't want to go first?
Go ahead, you're a guest.
All right. I'm going to give it like a 1.5. I think the animation is fantastic. Few of the songs are bangers. I agree with a lot of stuff that John said, and I don't want to let nostalgia cloud my vision, because to me, this is one of those things that I have some treasured memories of. Like, I used to watch this, I watched this film for the first time with my dad, who's now passed. So, it was like one of those things that like we enjoyed together. And much like the midnight releases of the Harry Potter books, I want to keep that part of the good memory, even though the rest of it sucks.
It's tainted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, because I had fun doing those midnight releases with my friends and, reading chapters as fast as we could and coming back and doing little book discussions. There's that piece of nostalgia, but I think that way too much of the humor is a miss. It's discordant. The story and the pacing is discordant. It doesn't really fit together. He was trying to shove far too many just like brand names in there. It was like one big ad at times, and knowing that he just did that for fun apparently is very confusing to me.
And without permission, which I don't know how they got away.
Yeah, I don't know how they got away with doing that, because couldn't the companies have sued them?
They probably could have, or maybe they tried. I don't know.
They probably saw how well the movie did at the box office. It's like, they can't afford it. Let's leave them alone.
They can't afford this. We're just gonna let it be. But yeah, the animation was good. The score was really good. I thought that like not just the animation itself, but like the setting, like the background setting and the background art and stuff was all very good. I'm just going to keep harping at animation because, I was like, ooh, the facial movement. Ooh, the fluidity of that. And I miss 2D animation with my whole heart and soul.
Same.
Yeah.
And I just, I think that it was trying to do too many things at once, and you can't be a cheesy, heartfelt Hallmark movie and Jackass at the same time without a little bit more balance.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And let's not be forget, there's a lot of shit in here that was never okay at the time and still isn't.
Mm-mm.
And and I'll buttress off of what Luffy said. Adam Sandler's filmography and this movie are a big part of my memories of my also late father who passed away. So there's a bit of nostalgia in there, but I'm trying not to let it blind my opinion. So honestly, I share Luffy's sentiments almost completely.
Yay!
Okay, so Jad, you're next.
Okay, so I give Luffy, I give this 1.5 out of 5. Like, I was debating on out of that or two, but aside from the animation and there's a few catchy numbers and one singer here and there, it doesn't really have much to justify a recommendation. And I feel like the excessive party humor, the excessive mean-spirited, the rushed plot, this was definitely Sandler at one of his lowest, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
And a sign of what was to come.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just to mildly interject, I would say that, like, when you say, like, not a recommendation, I would also say it's, like, it's not one of those movies that's, like, so bad it's funny, like The Room.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that you enjoy watching and mocking with friends.
Yeah, it's just really there's a lot of humor that's also just in it that's really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Adam Sandler's 8 Crazyisms is what I'm going to call this movie now.
Yeah. Just because, like, there's the racism, the transphobia, the constant attacking of fat people because their existence apparently is funny. 8
crazy hate crimes.
Basically, so it's like,
Adam Sandler's 8 crazy phobias.
I think I'm gonna give this a -1. I hated everything about this. Okay, the animation, I will admit, is really good. It's just, as I've said, the thing is it's so gross and unfunny at parts that it just hurts. Like Eleanor is really, I think, the only character in this entire movie I even liked, because even the love interest is kind of boring. She's just sort of there.
Yeah, she's very
that's
plain.
The thing. Yeah, a lot of the characters just feel very pointless and superfluous. That like racist Asian character who doesn't even have a name, by the way. He's
nope.
in the movie. And like I said, it's just Davy is so.
Actually, he does have a name. I looked it up. His name is Mr. Chang. But that doesn't make it any better.
Even worse.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. I think his restaurant's called like Chang's or something. Like
that. Yeah. I remember now.
Whatever. It's still icky.
It doesn't excuse anything.
It's not funny. It's not clever. It drags on at points. And again, like we talked about the whole scene at the mall, it just feels so out of place and random, and also leaves us confused because it's like, did he hallucinate that or was it real? We don't know. I'm sorry. If you like this film, you have to sort of question your sanity. I would not be able to recommend this to anybody. It's just so blah.
Yeah, and I think that your view is probably the most like honest for modern audiences and stuff, because unlike me and John, who have like at least a mild emotional connection to it, like that, you know, makes it have at least a mildly special place in our hearts and family histories.
Yeah.
Like that ugly hat that you're never going to wear again, but has good memories attached to it. Like, I think that your view is like the most honest because you're not coming into it with any preconceived anything.
Yeah, if I didn't have the emotional connection to it and also didn't have wildly admire the animation in some of the songs, I probably wouldn't watch this again. I would probably just watch it on my own time and then like, oh yeah, that's why I don't watch this as much as I used to.
Yeah. Yeah, so like I can't really recommend this. It's too, again, I think if it was maybe not trying as hard, maybe it could have been a little more enjoyable, but yeah, a -1. So for news, how we do it is me and Jad will alternate. Do you guys want to join in on like reading the titles of the articles, or how do you want to do it?
Do you even have access to the document?
I can get them access.
I did at one point when I was on the last Christmas episode I was on.
Hang on, let me see. One with this link. Okay, copy link. And then you guys just have to scroll down a little bit. We need to make a new document. This one's getting really long. But
I did add one that's not in the document, but I added it in this chat. Do you want me to start that?
Yeah, don't worry. I added it.
Okay, cool.
I added it last so we could make sure you would be able to read it.
I'm going to scroll to the bottom.
Okay, so first up, Dick Van Dyke, Mary Poppins stars in Coldplay's newest music video.
At the age of 98.
God damn, he is still kicking.
Yeah, holy crap.
Oh my God, this document is still loading.
So, the thing about like Dick Van Dyke is even though he's like really old now, he's still like doing stuff because he was on what's it called? Masked Singer. He was on a season of Masked Singer, and I was like, how? Because like we said, he's 98. He's kind of sort of like retired from acting, but he still does like cameos and stuff because he was in Mary Poppins Returns. But like for the most part, like he was a big star during like the 60s. That's when he started. He even had his own show called the Dick Van Dyke Show, but most people know him as Bert from Mary Poppins.
I'm sorry, where is the... Is just on the very last page, or...
It's not the last page. I did find it. I'm trying to figure out what page.
82.
Okay.
I didn't see the page number.
I'll bold it so you can see it.
Yeah, I'm here.
And he said, I think how lucky I am. I got to play an act silly. He's just loving life. I was originally worried when I like saw people talking about him, like, oh my God, did he die? No, he's just having fun. I was like, guys, you can't do that to me. Okay, I freaked out. I almost had a heart attack.
Yeah, Dick Van Dyke's still kicking at 98. It made me realize how old he actually was, because I know we don't talk too much about politics on here, but I remember when Bernie Sanders was running, I remember Dick Van Dyke made some comments about it. I was like, oh yeah, some young guy named Bernie Sanders is running for office. I'm like, young guy, what the? Oh, because he's 20 years older than him. Oh, Oh, now no. That's funny.
That is funny. Like, again, Dick Van Dyke, despite being old, still really like seems to love life, and I kind of hope I get to be like I can be like that when I'm like in my 90s. But again, like I was so freaked out. Like, why are people talking about Dick Van Dyke? Did he die? And it's like I can't take any more sad news this year. But thankfully, he's like, no, he's just being awesome.
Yeah, you can't help but think of that one gif of Denzel Washington where he holds his heart. It's like,
I think you added this, Rudy.
Yes, I did. Go ahead.
So you were saying, John?
No, my thought was ending.
Okay. Bloomsbury Video Library brings Richard Williams' and the Animated Survivor kit to streaming.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Bloomsbury Publishing is proud to announce that the Animated Survivor kit animated is coming to the Bloomsbury Video Library as a streaming collection starting in next month.
Wait, so are they doing like an adaptation of that book? For that animated version?
I'm not really I think that's what they might be doing.
Yeah, it's like a series of video lessons.
Well, this probably won't surprise you to know this, but since I went to animation school, I own this book. It's on my shelf right outside my room.
Oh, wow.
In animation school, this book is as important as the fucking Bible. Like, this book was always with me in college whenever I had to do an assignment. If I ever forgot a simple thing, it was right there next to me. Okay,
then, John, you can sort of give a refresher course to people who Richard Williams is, because we've actually talked about him before on this podcast.
Yeah, do you want to? Tell you what, why don't I go grab the book from my shelf and you guys just give like an intro about it real quick while I go grab it?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Because I actually
Richard Williams is considered sort of like a legend in animation. He's a 3-time Academy winner. He did the art direction for Who Framed Roger Rabbit. He worked on a short film adaptation of A Christmas Carol,
which was produced by Chuck Jones.
Mm-hmm, and that won him his first award. He did a lot of back in like the 60s and everything. One of the fun things to do was make animated openings for live action films. He did a bunch of them, like for A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Farm, What's New Pussycat, and the intros for the Pink Panther films. Now, see, we had talked about him before because he was the original director of that really weird Raggedy Ann and Andy movie.
Your first episode, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't that your first episode?
Yep, that was our first episode. And he actually was so embarrassed by that film. He's like, don't put my name on the film. Say somebody else directed it. That's how bad it was. But he would then later on to try to make his own animated film that unfortunately had a very, very rough production. But he's still kind of considered like this really important figure to animation and everything. He unfortunately passed away, but like his legacy cannot really be understated. Yep. Like John said, he has a copy of the book. And I know for a lot of animators, this book was very important to them, like instrumental in them learning about animation and all that stuff.
It's in my hands right this second. I'm scrolling through it. I'm trying to think of how they would like adapt it. So like they would probably do like animated tutorials. They would like take some of his drawings. Like I largely looked to this book for like how to do walk cycles. Like that was like, again, like this is like the equivalent of like looking at the Bible for an answer that you can't really find, like a moral dilemma. When I forgot how to animate somebody walking, this is what I went to.
According to this, it says it includes 16 masterclass videos and over 400 specially animated examples to demonstrate core principles, including how to move things in specific methods. The video demonstrates time-honored animation principles and techniques that are relevant to CGI animation as they are to hand motion and stop motion.
Yeah, so I'm very interested to hear how this is going to go, because if there's any of you out there that are looking to get into animation, I know textbooks can be expensive. But this, I don't know if they still make this anymore, but if they're willing to do like video segments that you could like stream or purchase, it's more than worth it. Like this book has literally saved my ass more times than I have fingers on my hands.
The collection will be available to academic institutions worldwide via subscription and perpetual access starting in January 2025.
Hell yeah.
Offering comprehensive new teaching and research tool. A subscription option for individuals will follow later in the year. with more details to come. So it does look like you won't need to like be like in school eventually.
But also, just a heads up, you can still purchase the book if you want to get it. It is on Amazon for $16.
16, cheaper than when I bought it.
Oh.
All right, so for the next piece of news, you know what, Luffy, why don't you read this one?
Yeah, don't have me do it.
If I'm really worried I'm going to mispronounce this gentleman's name, but my apologies if so. So HBO is circling British actor Papa Asdew?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Asdew, I think he's from London, but I think his family might be his parents are from Ghana.
I almost want to say his name is Pa'apa, like it's like there's like another extra syllable in there. Pa'apa or something like that.
Guys, we're ignorant Americans. We apologize.
Like once I hear that pronounced one way, I'll be able to say it right, you know, unlike a certain co-host of mine.
But I've unfortunately never seen any of his acting. He kind of started like I think out he's mostly like a lot of his work has been on the stage and in television. But So Luffy, what is he possibly starred in?
The HBO adaptation of the Harry Potter books.
Now you know why I didn't want to read this one.
But they are considering him as Snape.
Okay. I just gotta say this. Fuck no. For two reasons. First of all, this man, as I said, his parents are from Ghana. He is a very gorgeous black man. Two, he's too handsome.
Yeah.
I have like just to further go with that. Of course, this frustratingly, he is getting backlash.
Of course.
Because of course he is, because he's black. How dare. It seems to be very, very similar to the backlash that was received by, like John Boyega when Finn was announced and all that fun stuff. But my personal feelings on this are, other than, this fucking series should not be existing, are one, I feel like that there's just some negative implications to making the neo-Nazi character a black man. That seems stupid and a poor choice. The creepy, stalkery, abusive, used to be a Death Eater Snape, like, let's just make him black. And that just seems icky.
People are saying they did this solely to sort of distract people from the fact they're doing this, but it's like, it's not working. Like, just really, here's my thing. Like, Luffy mentioned John Boyega. I'm still extremely pissed off about what happened to him. Yeah. But like, what really pissed me off the most is Disney didn't do anything to protect him. There's no way Warner Brothers is going to protect Papa. There's no way they're going to stand up for him.
Especially with J.K. Rowling at the handling it.
I mean, they have been standing up for her. She's welcome to her views.
She's welcome to, you know what? I'm not going to finish that sentence.
For whatever reason, David Zaslav is hell-bent on canceling her. I don't know why.
It's not going to work, though. And it's like already, here's the thing. We know this series is going to be a train wreck. We didn't think it would start this soon. This is not going... I'm really hoping he looks at all this backlash and he rethinks this. Because again, it's not only do I think he is way too handsome to play Snape, but I do not want him to have to deal with this because it's just people have become very unhinged with how they treat stars. I don't want this guy getting death threats just because he took a role.
Holy shit, he is only older than me by a week.
Oh, wait, my God.
He is almost...
Hang on.
He is he's exactly older than me by a week. He's a week older than I am.
I completely agree with you. I do actually think that this was probably in part to announcing this to distract from like, hey, we might like not like be transphobic, but we're putting a black man on the screen in like an important role.
As like, skeevy as that is, you know how you do that? You hire a trans actress.
Oh, exactly.
Or actor.
Do that.
considering that, to my understanding, J.K. Rowling will have a hand in production.
That's not going to happen.
I do not want. No, HBO has like defended her.
Yeah,
to her rights, and they want her involved. Like that, it's
I'm not sure why, because the last time she wrote for something Harry Potter related, like the last 3 Harry Potter films were massive bombs.
Mm-hmm.
And they were written by her.
Yeah, I just think that that like the way to combat all of this is to just not fucking make any more Harry Potter thing. Casting a trans actress, I would not want to put that poor woman that would be degraded by the author of the series in the line of fire any more than this poor black dude who's probably just thinking, wow, this is a really big role for a really successful franchise. Much like I can't imagine that, like Finn was intended to be in Star Wars. And yeah, people are entitled as fuck to famous people, and they're fucking brutal to anybody that doesn't fit their little, like, their headcanon, their little nerd vision, and even more so if they happen to be marginalized in any way, shape, or form.
Fair point. Yeah. The only way to salvage this, never make it, because Harry Potter is trash, always has been, always will be.
And here's the thing, even if they do get this made, we know it's not going to be that good, because like we've said, J.K. Rowling's involved with this. She was involved with the Fantastic Beasts movies, and they progressively made less and less money.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, we don't even know if Warner Brothers is still going to be around by the time they actually try to start filming this.
Or David Zaslav.
Dumbledore didn't even gay fuck on screen. So, like, what was the point of any of that, JK? Nothing.
Yes.
Yeah, she's just a big fan of transphobia and after the fact virtue signaling. That's all she does.
Yep, that's really all she did. So, John, you got the next one.
Okay, so I didn't know about this. Avowed faces backlash from speaking of racism. And it's an article from my least favorite journalistic, and that's a stretch, outlet there is. The campaign against Avowed reveals bigotry feels.
Yeah.
If you guys want me to share why I don't like this website, I will. And it's not because
you totally can. Go ahead.
Okay, so Austin's probably heard this story 1,000 times on Super Bonus Round. So back in 2012, when a little game called PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale was coming out for the PlayStation 3, my homeboy, my favorite video game character of all time, Sir Daniel Fortescue, was announced as a character along with Nariko from Heavenly Sword. The person who wrote the article for this announcement spent the entire time simping over fictional Nariko from Heavenly Sword while simultaneously shitting on poor Sir Dan, saying, "Get out of here, Sir Dan. No one cares about you. No one wants you. Let me simp for this fictional woman." That person still works for this fucking website. I don't remember his name.
No.
But I swore off this fucking site afterwards. But that being said, so is anybody else more familiar with this story? Because I did not hear about this at all.
No, I haven't even heard about this game until
So let me just skim through. Okay. So Avowed, it's by Obsidian. They're the guys who made Fallout New Vegas, aka the only Fallout people like.
And Grounded.
Yeah. So what's tiresome vocal growth, the pepper controversy, woke guys, get a fucking life. Come on.
See, I'm part of a subreddit that like makes fun of these guys, and for some reason, Avowed has been became like what's the word? Target, because they are upset that like the main characters, there's not a. You want to know why they're upset?
None of the main characters are white men.
Exactly. There is a
fucking course.
There is a dwarf, a black woman, a man with blue skin, and then I think it's an elf. I'm not sure what she's supposed to be, but like when you go to the Steam page, the picture is of those four.
If you scroll down in the article, there's
there's a picture of it.
Yeah.
It's just this image that's making them angry. That's it.
Just a single man. They'll make a controversy out of fucking anything.
I
That
know,
must
and
be that
it's
human
so
thumb
exciting.
who had a mental breakdown over pronouns.
Well, no, and like the thing is that if they don't want to play the game anymore, they're totally welcome to it. But now they're trying to say, like, the game, Obsidian Entertainment are cooked, that they're ruined, that they're never gonna, have any success again. But besides doing Grounded, they also worked on Outer Worlds, which was extremely popular. So it's just another thing. It's like, guys, if you don't want to play the game, you don't have to. But don't try to ruin everybody else's fun time just because you're really sensitive and whiny.
What
Okay,
is
so
DEI in this context? They keep saying that there it's a DEI initiatives that diversity.
I'm trying to. Let's see, it's an abbreviation.
diversity, ethics, and inclusion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's basically, yeah.
So sorry, Austin. A little update on my little rants. The guy who did that simpy article has not written for Kotaku in 2 years. Thank fucking God. And I found
Some
the
good
article.
news.
It's still fucking up. I'm going to share it in the chat. This article pissed me off so much. I'm so that this is just a personal grip against this fucker.
That's totally fine, because what you said he wrote, that's not journalism, that's him being weird.
Yeah, look at the title of the article, and it tells you everything.
Heavenly Sword, Glorious... Oh,
And
Jesus.
some guy with a skull head.
All I can hear is, "Oh, my beloved Nariko. I shall not let any of those unworthy ruffians touch an oddly rendered hair on your beauteous head."
Guys, Luffy's not making that up. That's like the first line of the article. Jesus Christ.
Oh, but you haven't gotten to the line that pissed me off. You haven't gotten to the line that pissed me off yet.
The one about Sir Dan?
The one right after it.
Sorry.
Who's that behind you, Sir Daniel Fortes from Medieval? No one invited you, Dan. Piss off.
Urge to kill rising.
Man,
what a dick.
I really missed hanging out with you, Nariko. Did you miss me too? What's that video there? Damn it, Dan, I said piss off. Nariko, sigh. Dan, infamous Evil Cole, and Metal Gear's Raiden are all playable on the floor show at PAX. Don't you touch my Nariko, Kirk Hamilton. I've seen how you look at her.
Fuck?
Why don't you keep Dan company instead? Is this dude okay?
I don't think he is. But here's the thing. It's like, why on earth did they allow this to be published? It's not an article. He's not actually talking about the trailer or the game. What the hell?
I can only imagine that this man has a, Daki Makura of Nariko, and
he probably does. He does.
That he's married to in his head.
Okay.
This is it reminds me of an old school deviant art post, like a journal.
Really?
Yeah. I'm sorry to have delayed that, but I think when I hear the words Kotaku, I turn into the Manchurian Candidate and think of this and want to kill him.
That's so weird.
But so
Right.
I apologize for trying to buttress off that, but just as much as this is a somewhat important topic, I don't trust Kotaku's journalistic integrity because of stuff like that they still haven't taken down. But anyway, because none of the characters are white.
Opinion.
Isn't that like Elf Girl white, or I don't know?
She's white in the wrong way. She's not
Yeah.
Caucasian. That's what they want.
Okay. This sounds like the music's of somebody that doesn't have a job or a social life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they don't. These guys don't have anything else going on for them.
Okay, so whose turn is this?
Yeah, let's just get off this one. This is so.
One is.
Yeah.
This one's mine.
A white elf-like woman. I think that she's not white in the right way, in that they don't like the idea of playing a woman.
Hey, you know what? This was such a nothing story. We talked about something totally else, so that's all they get.
Yeah,
that's true.
right.
We did. Okay, so this, I think this happened. Yeah, this happened recently.
Yesterday,
with the Wizard of Oz back in the public conscious, somebody, it doesn't say who, I think, but the ruby red slippers that Judy Garland wore in the movie, they were stolen in 2005 before they were returned to the Smithsonian, but somebody bought them for $28 million.
Holy shit.
Mm.
I know, isn't that ridiculous? And I know, like, people, it's like, well, they're a part of movie history, but that is a lot of money.
That's an insane amount of money.
That's insane. Like, who has just $2 million to just drop?
No one I want to talk to.
Extremely rich people. Because I want to know, like, who... I mean, it doesn't say who it is, but also just, like...
This purchase
my thing is
a piece of entertainment memorabilia.
Yeah, I think Margaret Hamilton, who played the Wicked Witch in the original movie, her hat, I think, went for $2 million. But also, it's just... My thing is, like, why on earth would you waste that much money for these shoes? I know they are part of, like, film history, but, like, $28 million? That's so much. That's, like... I don't know. Just something about this really rubs me the wrong way, especially with how, like, right now... like, homelessness continues to be, like, on the rise, and it's like somebody's just going to drop actually, not a small fortune, a big-ass fortune on shoes.
To quote another famous movie character, it belongs in a museum.
Oh, yeah.
I was about to say, if I were this particular person, I think that this should be in some sort of film museum, being properly preserved, like, not just some dude's house.
Yeah, it reminds me of when Kim Kardashian bought
Marilyn Monroe's dress.
And then she ended up, I think, even ripping it. It's like, can we stop letting the extremely rich purchase these things?
What did she buy? I didn't hear what it was said.
One of Marilyn Monroe's dresses.
Oh man!
And she wore the dress, and she ripped it.
I don't recall if she actually bought it or if she just bid to be able to wear it to, like, the Met Gala or something. But that shouldn't even be a thing.
This is why we need to eat the rich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With some salt and ketchup. You're next.
Spicy brown mustard.
Me?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. I forgot about this.
Another one from your favorite news site, John. According to Kotaku, Mattel is being sued I heard about this.
Yeah.
About the website on the Wicked Dolls packaging being directed to a porn site. Oh my god, that was one major fuck up.
Yes.
Interesting choice of words, Austin.
To my understanding, initially I thought, somebody's getting fired or whatever, but apparently they decided to use AI generators for the box, like,
oh my god.
And this was the result.
This is why you don't use AI. But here's the thing. I just typed in wicked.com. You can't enter the website automatically. It comes up and says access beyond this page is restricted to adults.
Yeah, can't confirm, just tried.
Yeah, so the thing is, I don't know. I don't really think this woman has, like, a leg to stand on. Like, okay, like, this is not them doing their due diligence. Here, but also this was, like, I don't know if the kid even clicked enter. I mean, could the kid even, like, understand the website or whatever? I just don't think
even if they didn't know what they were clicking enter, it wouldn't be past someone to not read the terms of service.
But it's also just not. I feel like the mom's just trying to get a quick buck here, and I don't know. I don't really think this is going to actually go to court just because it's like saying, oh, there's, I'm angry at somebody because there's, just because there's, like, oh, there's porn, let's sue people. It just comes off as.
Yeah, the next line is kind of okay. As all of us have pretty much pulled up this website simultaneously, the next line has pointed out she claims that her child was exposed to full-on nude sex scenes.
No, you did that. You clicked enter and showed it to her. Liar.
Yeah, no, even if you click enter, the list of films here has scantily clad, like, title pages, but none of them even have a nipple out.
Nope.
So this child had to be clicking around and starting to watch something for her to have been exposed to a quote unquote full on nude sex scene on this website.
And it seems like you can't access the rest of the website unless you try to make an account.
Yep.
Yeah, which likely involves a fee. Like the most scandalous thing I'm seeing is literally women in lingerie, that the kind of shit that you would see out. Yep, as soon as you click something, it's like you could get a streaming $29 a month.
Oh my god!
No,
Fuck that.
thank you.
No, actually, I won't, Austin.
That is too much. That is too much for pornography. I'm sorry, ladies. But like, yeah, it's the kind of thing you would see like outside of Victoria's Secret. It is nothing that scandalous, as amusing as the whole debacle is.
Yeah, like they just have like their butts up and stuff. They're just showing off their like clad butts. It's nothing super like lewd or anything. So yeah, I don't think this is going to actually get to court. I think it's going to get thrown out.
The most scandalous thing about this website.
You're next.
The most scandalous thing about it is Stormy Daniels is on there.
Wait, what?
Yeah, scroll down. Popular stars.
Oh my god!
Good for you, Stormy.
At least she's still working.
Yeah.
All right.
It's work after all.
Oh, okay. Open link. Okay, so I think the next one is the developer one, right?
Yep.
Okay. Another Kotaku article.
Oh.
Sorry.
The developer behind the co-op hit It Takes Two has a new game reportedly coming out in March.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yes.
Haze Light Studios, led by the colorful, is it Joseph or Joseph?
Joseph Fares.
Fares
Yes.
might be revealing its latest game very soon. A new report suggests the upcoming project is called Split Fiction and will release sometime in March 2025. This is according to Daylab's Bill Kuhn. Okay, there we go. The reliable leaker. That's a really funny way to phrase that.
Yes.
I've heard funnier names for leakers.
I just the phrase, the reliable leaker.
Yep.
Says the new game will be out on March 6th, 2025 on both PC and consoles, and claims an official announcement will come later this month.
Yes. Because the Game Awards are on Thursday as of this recording. And It Takes Two won the Game of the Year award in 2021. And Joseph Fares is also very infamous at the Game Awards for getting blackout drunk and grabbing Jeff Keighley's microphone and yelling, "Fuck the Oscars" live on camera.
What?
Did everybody forget that? That was him. And it was also funny, I think, in It Takes Two, there's a level where you have to like use a satellite to point to these different planets to pick up radio signals. One of them, if you find it, is the "Fuck the Oscars" rant.
Oh my god.
Fares and his team are best known for a slew of puzzle adventures, beginning with 2013's Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, in which the player controls two characters with different joysticks. 2018's A Way Out, in which characters were controlled separately on different screens. It Takes Two melded these two approaches with a co-op adventure about divorce that ended up winning the Game of the Year at the Game Awards.
Yeah, that game is incredible.
And it's still a really popular game. They also apparently are going to make it, I think, a movie. I know Amazon Studios picked up the project and they're like discussing on, who's going to direct it and stuff.
Oh, does that mean I have to watch them tear an elephant doll up again?
No.
Literally, it does say outside of making games, he's
Justice for Cutie.
The broader public for saying "fuck the Oscars" at the Game Awards in 2017. Okay, so that is definitely a legacy of his. I never really heard of this game, but a game about
what? Really?
about no, I don't play a lot of games about divorce sounds fun,
and
the image here, like the style, is very cool.
Mm-hmm. See, when they say it's about divorce, I feel that's sort of playing it down just a little bit, because see, what happens is this little girl, her parents are arguing, and she somehow finds this like book of love spells, and she has two dolls she made of her parents. She casts a spell, her parents wake up in the body of the dolls.
Yeah.
So they have to go on an adventure to get their bodies back. And it's really well done. It talks a lot about like relationships. We kind of like slowly see how they like shifted apart, but also how they maybe fell in love. It's really, really good. But like John said, there's a scene where there's a doll named Cutie. It's an elephant doll, and she's like Rose's favorite doll in the entire world. And they think to break the spell, they need to make her cry.
So they kill her favorite toy.
She's begging, please don't, guys, please don't put that in the movie. I can't take it.
I'm not even joking.
The first time.
I'm not even joking too, because Christine and I played this on Super Bonus Round a couple of years ago, and Luffy, this is the thing I keep referencing when we were doing the divorce social link in our Persona 3 playthrough. Christine was legitimately about to cry during that playthrough. She loves stuffed animals. She loves cute things. She was almost in tears. Like I was.
Cutie is begging them to stop while they're tearing her apart. Yeah, it's so upsetting.
I probably wouldn't have cried. That's just making me upset. Just hearing about it, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But yeah, if it was like 2021, that era, that's like when I was in the hospital and I wasn't privy to a lot of things.
That's okay. I actually didn't play it till like the next year or so. So I didn't play it when it came out.
I just got the game. I bought it. Did I buy it? No, somebody gifted it to me because it was on my wish list.
Sweet.
But yeah, so I mean, I highly recommend the game, even though I haven't technically played it. I've watched people play it. I mean, I love everything about it. But like, I think the thing is they make the two characters they're well written and they're realistic. They're not necessarily like bad people. They're just, stressed.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
You should make Austin play with you on stream or your fiance.
Oh, that would be fun. Okay, so who's next?
Let's see. I think it's John, and he's got this.
It's John. John got this one.
John, I think you're...
Yes, so Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared launches a website. So I don't know how many of you are or aren't familiar with Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, but it was a YouTube series that started about I want to say 2015, somewhere around there. But it's like this. Right. It's styled like this, like old British puppet shows for children, but it has this element of like uncomfortability and downright scary vibes to it, and then they play into it. And it was insanely popular when it came out, and then eventually branched out into a television show that was exclusively on a British channel, but I ended up watching anyway through other means. And now they had launched the website with a new trailer where this creature hatches from an egg and announces to this cult in a forest, I think. I don't know. The more I try to think about it, my head hurts. That they have announced a website where there's merchandise, the entire series, hopefully assuming a legal way to watch the new series they did for television outside the UK, and a bunch of other stuff. Hopefully this leads to more, because Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared is probably one of the greatest pieces of media I've consumed in my adult life.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah. Cool. And the thing is I remember, like, people are always saying audiences don't want original stories. No, that's not true. This is, like, I think a really good example of an original story that exploded, because I remember even when the first video came out and nobody really knew what Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared was, it was insanely popular. And people even still quote it, like, green is not a creative color, or
Austin will tell you I will frequently quote pesky bee.
Yeah, like the first episode, it came out 13 years ago. It has 75 million hits. So, and the thing is, I have also watched the latest version of the show. It's still really good. And I think what really got people is the amount of detail in everything. Like the puppets are really, really what's the word I'm looking for?
Well constructed.
Yes, well constructed. And that's like the thing I think a lot of people don't understand. If you're going to use puppets, the puppets have got to look well constructed, and they have to also be able to move really well. And it's just all the ideas they came up with was fantastic. And it still has a very, very big following. Yep. Even to this day.
My brother also enjoys it too. Like there's one of the few pieces of media that he enjoys. And really funny for me personally, the central date behind the lore is my birthday. The fated day that they can't escape, June 19th, that's my birthday.
Okay, so all right, so
this is you, Rudy.
Yes, okay. I'm trying to think how to start this. So
oh God.
when it comes to fame, fame is sort of a double-edged sword, but there's been this sort of weird trend where people will make the most random people famous. I don't know if you guys remember this, but when American Idol was like still new, there was this, I can't remember his name. It was an Asian man who sang She Bangs.
I know exactly.
And he was,
I know you're talking about it, but I don't remember his name.
Yes. William Hung. That's his name.
Yes.
And he was like maybe famous for a few months.
Because the way he was saying, the way his voice sounded.
Yeah.
He was a very, very bad singer, but everybody thought that was very amusing.
Yeah, and like he went on to like have a successful life, and like he even showed up on American Idol season like 20, like as a little like Easter egg or something. Like for him, it ended positively, but for a lot of these people, it doesn't. And the most recent like person who got famous for absolutely zero reason was the Hananukah girl.
Wow.
Honestly, I've hated this meme so much. I'm kind of okay. I'm gonna just explain how she got famous. She's white and blonde and conventionally attractive. What?
No, you're right, but that was just the way you said it. Why is she famous? Well, number one, she's white.
And she said, "Hukta," like spit on that thing.
Yeah, the onomatopoeia for hocking a loogie on something.
Yeah,
on that dick.
And she got
dicks.
Yeah, basically. And she got extremely famous because people thought it was so funny. People made stickers of it. People made shirts of it. She got a podcast.
Yeah,
well,
talk to
I think her 5 minutes of fame are up a lot faster than I thought it was going to be because
on Jake Paul's sports betting network.
Yeah, so
yeah, Jake Paul has no eye for talent.
He really doesn't. I think he solely made her gave her a podcast just because she was famous for now.
Yeah, and then didn't Mr. Beast run out of theater just so people could watch her stupid ass podcast?
He did to have those stupid lunchlies, but I think this might be the end of the road for her because, well, Haley, the Hananukah girl, released a crypto coin.
No.
It launched and then it crashed within 3 hours.
So it's a pump and dump scheme.
That is just astounding. 3 hours.
Yeah.
3 hours.
And now, see, the thing is, a lot of people are saying, well, she's not the one who made them lose the money. It's like, yeah, but she put her name and face on this. And the thing is crypto has been proven not to be a good investment.
No.
You want to know the real reason it failed?
Why?
She didn't call it Spitcoin.
Oh my god. God damn it, John.
Oh god.
I have to say, I saw a post on Tumblr a little while back that said something like, it's really too bad. Sometimes I wonder if we did the wrong thing, removing Ellen DeGeneres from the public eye because
not really.
People like the Hawktall girl would have gone on Ellen and her dance, and their fame would have been done.
Yeah.
And that would have been it. Perhaps we removed a predator that was necessary for the ecosystem.
Yeah, it's like trying to kill a wasp inside your house. Like, yeah, I hate wasps, but they kill the things that are worse. Or it's actually spiders. It's I'm not big on spiders, but they eat wasps. So
this is not a defense of Ella. That post amused me specifically. It mentioned the Hukta girl. Hukta.
Oh god! Now I'm picturing that meme from Thor Ragnarok. It's like, you can't defeat me. No, but he can instead of Sir Turret's Ellen DeGeneres.
Come dance on my show.
So the thing is crypto kind of went the way of NFTs. All of them are useless now. So I'm kind of torn on this because for one, I feel really bad for the people who lost their money, but why would they invest in this? We know that crypto has no returns, and all of them have failed because didn't Elon Musk had one, right? The Dogecoin?
No, he just it wasn't his coin. He just promoted it apparently. But I can imagine he invested in it beforehand and go and just spread memes about it in order to do a little mock and manipulation.
That stupid motherfucker thinks that theme is still funny.
YouTuber Drew Gooden recently did a pretty good video on the ease of like online sports betting. So the fact that Jake Paul now has an entire sports betting network, like, oof, that's already a bad plan. I actually suggest to listeners that they watch his video. It's actually very informative as well as humorous about how easy it is to make sports bets now because of like new laws on your phone and stuff, and how that's probably leading to like bajillion different addictions.
Because gambling is like already an addiction. Problem. It's just making it worse.
Yes, precisely.
And Papa Meat, he also did a video about crypto scams and how this one website decided to make pump and dumps even easier for all these scammers. Like, I'll link the video in it so you can see.
Okay. I was just because I didn't quite hear who you said.
Yeah, it's Meat Cannon. But like so here's the thing. I don't think they can necessarily sue her, but the thing is that I really believe that this is probably like the nail in her coffin. Because I mean, the thing is, it wasn't like they discovered a singer or an actress or an artist. It's just some random white girl. She doesn't really do anything.
She said the funny spit noise.
Yeah, like that's all she did. And I think, she was trying to sort of capitalize on her popularity. But it's like, if, I mean, right now, like after this, I don't think her career, quote unquote, is going to go anywhere.
I hope that whatever money she has already made, she has well invested going forward and not in her own cryptocurrency.
I look forward when I go back to the Jersey Shore. So the last time I went to the Ocean City, New Jersey boardwalk was when her fame started. Hawk Tuah shirts everywhere. I'm looking forward to next summer when I go back to Ocean City, seeing them in the clearance bin.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very tired of like the people who get famous for very dumb things online. And like on top of that, with the whole idea that you have to like to be that some like auditions and stuff like that, to my understanding, for like roles for things want to know how many followers you have on social media, and this like this thing that you like need to already have like a built-in online presence and be like a fucking influencer on top of whatever else you want to do is fucking ridiculous.
I think also I feel like people are falling out of love like with influencers and the influencer culture. Like it's a very slow thing, but I mean, only time will tell. All right, so next up is
I lost the complete respect for my favorite YouTuber last year. I'm done admiring people.
You lost what to your favorite?
Moana 2, Wicked, and Gladiator 2 rule the post-Thanksgiving box office.
Didn't surprise nobody.
All the films over the post-Thanksgiving weekend and near 132 million, which is a big record for a post-Thanksgiving box office weekend. And looking at the numbers, Moana still held number one with 52 million, which was a 62% drop from its record-breaking Thanksgiving opening. And Wicked had a 57% drop, finishing number two at 34 million. And a bit of a steep drop after its record-breaking hold in its second weekend. And Gladiator 3, it's number 3 at 12 million. But surprisingly, all these films are doing very well. And Moana 2's already outgoes the first film. Like, it's made 600 million worldwide now.
So now Disney's going to learn the lesson. It's like, hey, let's chop up Disney Plus shows and turn them into movies because they still make money.
Disney always learns the wrong lessons from their success. They always do that.
Yep.
Just like Sonic Team.
I was just about to ask, like, has anyone seen it? Because everything I heard about the production and it sounds like it was a hot mess.
Yeah, I was mulling between that and Wicked when Christine was visiting for Thanksgiving. She begged and pleaded to take me to Wicked instead when we got the reviews. I said, all right, I'll give Wicked a try. I ended up walking out thinking it was my favorite movie of the year.
Yeah, so
I loved it. I loved it.
The thing is, okay, so just a heads up.
Until
Jad's
Sonic 3
seeing
comes
the
out.
movie. Jad, are you seeing Wicked tomorrow?
Tomorrow, yes.
Ooh.
Okay, do you guys want to join us for another like little retrospective thing? Because I think we'll probably have fun talking about it.
I'd be down for that.
Sure.
Okay, but me and my friend are gonna go see like Moana 2 just because. See, the thing about us is like we're both like, you know what, let's just see the movie for ourselves. But everyone's just saying it's not as good as the first one. But like, here's the thing, it's something to go do with the kids.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I'm giving it a slight pass, just because like I don't think there's not a lot of like kids movies that are out in the theaters right now. And the thing about Wicked is, while Wicked's not I think it's, what is that rated? Let me check.
Pretty sure it's PG or PG-13. I think it's PG actually. There's nothing.
Yeah, it's PG.
Yeah, there's nothing of note that would get it a PG-13.
Well, so the thing is like Wicked is 2 hours long. It's almost 3 hours long because it is 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah, it was 2 hours.
A lot of
kids
kids will not be able to sit through that, but also there's a scene in the Wicked movie where the monkeys turn into the flying monkeys. I kind of think that would have scared some of the kids.
Yeah, probably.
That startled me. I'm not even gonna let that was the most dramatic and like body horror.
Yeah, it was
that I've ever seen that scene done. It was good, but like
it was. Yeah. But also, like, the thing is, it's just, again, like, I'm not saying like Moana has to be groundbreaking, but it's like, you know, it's just something the parents could take the kids to, something safe, you know. Even like, because I think also the thing is, some people sort of assume Wicked is family friendly because besides the whole website debacle, some of the people have gotten the book for kids, and there's a reason me and Luffy are laughing. Guys, just a heads up, please do not buy the Wicked book for your like child. If the kid is under 18, please don't buy them the book. It's really not a kid's book.
Just buy them the damn soundtrack.
It's the play. I could see, you know, older kids being okay with the book. The book is a different story
entirely.
It is all of the books in that series are very mature. There's blatant sex scenes. The books are not they took a lot of stuff out for the play.
Maybe it was fake that they linked that website.
But like what I'm saying is like I'm not surprised this one it did so well, but like even, and I know it's like people's like, oh, I'm tired of sequels, but guys, tickets have gotten so expensive that if you want to go out and see something and have fun, you're sort of wanting something that's a little more familiar. So it's like that's the only reason I'm really giving Moana 2 any slack, and it's just because you know, they need something to have the kids see, and I don't really think there's anything else coming out this year that's like kid friendly.
Sonic 3.
Wait, is it coming out this year? I thought it was next year.
It's next week.
Oh, I didn't.
Really?
Sonic and some dumb movie about a lion.
Yeah, a lot of the the Mufasa film or whatever.
Oh God,
the Mufasa prequel. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck?
They've reached this point with CGI where it is so ugly. Like, I know. It is like it's past that. Oh wow, this looks very realistic, and into this like uncanny valley AI generated almost feel like. Too glossy, too shiny. Just seeing the those like things for those previews, I was like, ugh. Plus, also Seth Rogen, Pumbaa. No,
thank you.
Also, Disney is fucking stupid if they think they can go up against Sonic fans and furries.
Yeah, just ask DC what happened when they went up against Sonic.
Yeah, well, like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, you guys are making all this money only to probably lose a lot of money
to Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
it's just...
Yeah. And it's a race of... Sorry.
No, go ahead.
And it's a race of Lin-Miranda's talent.
Oh, yeah, just a total waste.
Yeah, Lin-Manuel Miranda's doing the music for that? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
The songs, yeah.
He probably just needs the paycheck. But like, what I'm saying is that somebody was saying like, oh, Disney's like gonna like disappear. It's like, no, Disney's not gonna disappear. I just think Disney's sort of exhausting a lot of goodwill because they keep releasing all of these live action movies and they keep doing them like so close together.
Yeah,
and
now they're trying to do sequels
much.
of them. Now they're trying to do sequels and prequels to them when no one fucking cares.
Exactly. Like it's just it's, again, they're doing too much and people only have so much money they can spend. And like I don't even and also I have a feeling if kids went to go see this Mufasa movie, they would be bored. There's nothing really to pull the kids in. So yeah.
But I wanted to watch the movie with the hedgehog where the little girl gets shot in the head.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah, this is your reminder that the director of Shadow the Hedgehog's cutscenes from 2005 is the director of the film. So there's a non-zero chance that that scene's going to be in the movie.
Hell
okay,
yeah.
I think this is John, Luffy or John?
I think this might be me.
I did the one after.
So it's Luffy. It's Luffy's turn.
All right. So, unless I opened the wrong one, it is about the Skeleton Crew. Yes?
Yep. That's it.
All right. This show is earning comparisons to the work of Steven Spielberg.
What?
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Really?
So
God dang.
Well, that's
Disney-
not surprising considering it takes inspiration from the Goonies.
Disney
Oh, that's
Plus
right. I
added
remember that.
a new action-adventure series that has a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. Disney Plus has added Star Wars Skeleton Crew, the latest entry in the Star Wars franchise and one of the biggest shows of the year. Created by Spider-Man Homecoming's Christopher Ford and John Watts, the series centers on 4 kids who make a mysterious discovery on their home planet that leads them to get lost in a strange and dangerous galaxy. I could see where that would likely be the Goonies inspiration. On their way, they stumble upon a charismatic pirate, Jude Law, who offers some help. Co-starring Carrie Condon, Skeleton Crew also boasts a lot of talent behind the scenes, with acclaimed directors like Watts, Bryce Dallas Howard of The Mandalorian, The Daniels, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah,
I love those guys.
And John Watts is the director of the current MCU Spider-Man trilogy.
David Lowery of The Green Knight and Lee Isaac Chung of Twisters helming episodes of the show. I paused for a second because The Daniels, not followed by anything, confused me for a moment. I was like, are they siblings? Is that a first name?
It's a first name. They both have the same first name, so they call themselves the Daniels.
That's kind of badass. Being heralded as a return to form for the franchise, many fans have praised Skeleton Crew for its wondrous blend of adventure and coming-of-age storytelling, some comparing it with the work of Steven Spielberg. Interesting.
Yeah, I was hoping this would...
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
The Daily Telegraph called it a rip-roaring Spielbergian romp.
Spielbergian.
Okay,
and
never even heard of that term.
I gotta get around to watching this show.
It sounds like it's pretty good, and I was worried. I'm like, if this is not good, they're gonna go after those kid actors. So I'm just really happy it's doing well, and I feel like it's been a while since there's been like something good having to do with Star Wars in a while. Star Wars is
like how much homework you have to do to know the series, to understand the series.
That's actually a good question. It just says 4 children end up on an adventure to make their way home after being lost in a galaxy following discovery they make on their home planet. So it sounds like this is a separate. It's kind of like how The Mandalorian was a completely separate story that didn't have anything to do with the originals in a way. So I'm hoping it continues to be good because it feels like a very long time since we've had something good related to Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of The Mandalorian, and I did not care too much for Book of Boba Fett because I think even the show got disinterested with Boba Fett. Because if you haven't seen Book of Boba Fett, it's mostly about him. But midway through the show, they shift focus on the Mandalorian for about an episode or two, and I'm like, wait, this show got bored with itself.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I'm a little burnt out on Star Wars. Honestly, I have not watched Ahsoka.
Yeah, same here.
I did not watch The Acolyte.
I didn't.
And I keep hearing about
I haven't watched Andor, even though I've heard good things about Andor.
Andor is great. Yeah. Andor is the last one I did watch. It was great.
It's just, yeah, like, I kind of really agree. It's like, yeah, it's one of those things. Somebody I remember once took the cover of the Berenstain Bears book, Too Much Birthday, but instead made it Too Much Star Wars. And I'm like, that's kind of how I feel.
That's so fucking accurate. It's so true, because if I may be serious for a moment, Star Wars used to be like an event. Like every couple of years there'd be a movie, and then the trilogy would be over. Then Star Wars came back in the 90s, and like, holy shit, more Star Wars movies and for another generation. Granted, it was the prequels, but still, that was big for people, including people in our age demographic. And the same thing happened before all the woke I don't want to start on that. When Star Wars came back after Disney bought them, people react the same way up until the discourse. So Star Wars is best enjoyed as an event, not as fucking franchise slop, which it is now.
Yeah, because and does everybody also remember, like, when the new Star Wars started, they kept being like, hey, we're giving this guy a Star Wars trilogy. We're also giving this person a Star Wars trilogy. It's like Oprah with the cars. You get a Star Wars trilogy and you get a Star Wars trilogy. But everybody's like, slow down, because it's too much.
Yeah, Rudy, I was just about to say, I was like, I keep hearing announcements like, oh, this person's making a Star Wars. I'm like, fucking come out with one or shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
Yeah, apparently this was a problem in the Chapek regime. Like, he insists that even if a Star Wars project was insanely early in development, they want to treat it like a big deal.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I think they have kind of learned their lesson a little bit, because I feel like they've slowed down a lot. And hopefully that's, what's the word? I guess a show of things to come. I mean, I don't know, fingers crossed. But okay, so next is the piece of news that John specifically wanted to talk about. So John, it is all you.
So this news broke immediately after we agreed to do this episode. So this is related to a story in a previous episode you guys did, where One Piece, after years of being a concurrent week-to-week anime airing since 1999, and only took a break when COVID happened, is taking a hiatus until April 2025. And I thought for a moment, okay, this is cool, because since the Wano arc that started in 2019, the One Piece anime has seen a major uptick in quality, because they changed directors to the director who did the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, which the art style for that movie is fantastic. And he brought it over to the current anime. And it was starting to get a little long in the tooth, where we're still trying to catch up to the chapters and not do any filler episodes. So I was like, okay, they really should take a break. And then they did. I'm like, okay, this is probably all because they want to give the animators a break and go back to seasonal, right? That might not be the only reason, because what I noticed at the same time is that Kazuki Yao, the Japanese seiyuu for Frankie, has not been doing well health-wise. I could even tell in some of the last episodes of the Egghead arc that they were airing earlier this year, he was not giving it his all. And then it came to a certain point when the anime was still airing that he took some time off to recover and focus on his health. Then, as of the night of December 7th, which was the day before we're recording this, Kazuki Yao has officially announced, I think this was announced either by Jump or Ichiro Oda himself, that he is stepping down from the role of Frankie completely. So I think something must have happened to his health. He must have caught something, or things are just not improving. So he's stepping down from the role of Frankie, one of the Luffy's, the shipwright of the Straw Hat Pirates. He's been with the series since the beginning, because before Frankie, Kazuki Yao was the voice of Django in the Black Cat Pirates, and he was also Mr. Tubon Clay. And he brings a specific energy to these characters. And for this story, I linked Austin. I know I promised not to spoil anything for One Piece, but Kazuki Yao is unlike any other voice actor I've ever heard. And I think you guys need to hear like the kind of energy he brings to characters. He is going to be deeply missed. Like, he is flamboyant as hell, and I love the way he rolls his fucking arse. So, real quick, I can edit this out unless you guys want your reactions to his. Well, Luffy, you're also a One Piece fan. You've heard Kazuki Yao's performance as Frankie and others. He is deliciously flamboyant. He chews the scenery anytime he's talking. So,
and it looks like he suits the character because the character is very, very over the top.
Yeah. So, real quick, if you guys want, I have Frankie's introduction where he is on full blast flamboyant.
Okay, go ahead and play it.
Yeah. See, I saw a recent picture of him. I'm getting the impression that he's sick. He's sick.
Yeah.
So,
but also, I just looked up how old he is. He's 65.
Yeah.
So that probably being sick and his age are probably what are contributing to this. And this has been mentioned many times, but the creator of Dragon Ball Z, how am I blanking on his name?
Akira Toriyama.
Akira Toriyama, he passed away because of an aneurysm. Mm-hmm. Everyone really thinks it's part of him working himself too hard. So I think a lot of people in the anime industry are starting to, you know, realize they need to prioritize their health.
Yeah, he's a main character on a week-to-week anime that's been running since 1999.
Yeah. Oh my god!
Because unfortunately, overworked to the point of collapsing and dying young is Akira Toriyama is hardly the only person that this has happened to.
Yep.
Yeah.
And both in anime production and voice acting and in just weekly and monthly manga production. It's unfortunate and it happens way too often. People are they're working themselves to death. And yeah, I could see that his age, and if he caught something or if he's been diagnosed with something terminal, and he would rather step down and spend time, with his family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I could not begrudge him that.
Mm-hmm. So the final point of the announcement was Jump Festa, which is Shonen Jump's annual big convention, industry convention that they do every December, is coming on December 22nd, and they will have a graduation ceremony for Kazuki Yao to celebrate his tenure with the series, where they will also announce his replacement. And according to Yao-san himself, he said he has picked a super replacement. So I trust him at his word. But goddamn, whoever this person is has super shoes to fill. Which is really funny considering Frankie never wears them.
I was trying to remember the other woman who died recently, the other mangaka, but they think it was possibly a suicide.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and someone actually asked me, "Is this the first time a Straw Hat has retired or whatever?" I'm like, if you want to get technical, Jinbei, who joins the Straw Hats later in the story, when he was first introduced, he was voiced by famed actor Daisuke Gori. But midway through production, he committed suicide.
Oh gosh!
Yeah, they found. Without getting into too many details, they found him in an alley, and I think he committed seppuku.
Yeah,
that's awful.
To my understanding, this particular case, this woman, like she'd had issues with harassment and disagreements between her and the team that was adapting one of her works to a live action, like to a drama. Mm-hmm. And they were not treating her very nicely. And she kind of almost equated it to like high school. She wrote about it on her blog and stuff. And I guess they found her. She's only like 51. It was nobody really knows like the extent of what happened behind the scenes with that.
Mm-hmm. I think like over the past few years, like a lot of the anime and like manga industry, it's really gradual, but a lot of people are sort of trying to fix how it is, because like the work culture of Japan has been sort of like it's been harming Japan
and Korea.
And Korea, because they've talked about how like people are not going out to date. They don't have the time to go date. And that means they don't have the time to get married and have kids. So it's like, well, why that? Like, yeah, it's like if they don't have the time, how can they go out and form relationships and start a family?
Or worse, they have freaky Disturbed fans who will see them with a famous idol with a man, and then they'll project their parasociality onto them. It's like, no, they're getting married. It's all over. And then God forbid what they do next.
That kind of thing has also happened. But yeah, you've got these black companies in Japan and Korea where like it's about like who could do the most for the company and the most overtime, and they're sleeping in the fucking offices. And, you know, they know that these companies are bad, but they can't figure out how to leave them because of, and much of that is just due to like the social culture. And like, it's fascinating and horrifying. But that's a discussion for a different day.
Because this episode's already twice the length of the runtime of the movie we reviewed.
We'll have to split this into like 2 parts or something.
I mean, I'm fine with that.
It'll be a big one, and you just won't get it for a while.
Yeah, just my thing is, I mean, I don't mind. I've been having such a fun time talking about all this stuff. So, Jad, you added this. Well, it looks like Rick and Morty is returning in 2025.
Yep, they posted a little short of Rick auditioning replacements for Jerry. Yeah, so the reason we didn't get a Rick and Morty season this year was because of the writer's strike. And that pushed back production.
Yeah, better that than a shitty product like when 2007's writer's strike.
Yep.
The 2000s writer's strike is how we got the Transformers Bayformers movies.
Yeah. And also there was the whole thing with Justin Roiland. I think they had to figure out how to get him to leave the project, because see, the thing is he was one of the co-creators. They couldn't just push him out. You know, they had to be like...
They actually managed back in 2022 to push him out of both of the things that he was in. But it was a lot easier to replace him on Solar Opposites.
Oh, yeah.
Than it is with the iconic voices of Rick and Morty, that they really had to find somebody who slotted in. I mean, I think Dan Stevens is a better Corvo, hands down. I love him. His little British accent, he's so cute. But the moment that Justin Roiland left the show, rather than it being kind of like not really explicit, like just like subtext that like Terry and Corvo were a thing, they're like, actually they're married and they fuck a lot. And but like with Dan Stevens, you know, they're aliens. So they're like, oh, he got hit in the throat, and now we had to give him a new voice box.
Yeah, that's easy to replace.
They did the same thing in the first Nickelodeon Ninja Turtles cartoon when I forget what his name is, but he was the guy from American Pie. He was the original voice of Leonardo. But
Jason Banks.
He did some things. He got in some trouble, and Nickelodeon recast him with Seth Green. And like they got attacked in like this one episode, and like Leonardo got hit in the throat, and now he's voiced by Seth Green.
That's funny as fuck.
Yeah, it was hysterical.
But like, I found some very good imitators for Rick and Morty.
Oh, definitely. Like Rick has his own voice actor, and so does Morty. Like they're not voiced by the same guy and the same person, and because they figure it'd be easy on the voice actor's throats. Because I can imagine Rick is not an easy character to voice.
No, especially since most of
their
jokes are improv.
Probably have to make your throat like really, really gravelly. But like there are, I can't remember this guy's name, but there's a guy who he's known on YouTube for doing. He can do like a imitation of like any single Disney character.
Brock Baker,
and that's how he actually got it. What's this? What
is that? Are you talking about Brock Baker, or am I thinking somebody else?
Maybe thinking of somebody else.
Because Brock Baker is the guy who could do Winnie the Pooh, Goofy, Mickey.
Is that him? Because see, the thing is, in the next Hotel Transylvania movie, he got the role of Dracula. Andy, no, it's not Andy Samberg. It's somebody else. Let me see if I can find who it is.
Oh, Adam Sandler's not coming back for that one?
No, he was not in the third one.
I don't think he is.
He was not in the third one. He was replaced by somebody.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who it is.
He was voiced by Brian Hull.
Yes, that's him. And like I said, how he got like famous / popular was because he had a YouTube channel where he would sing like Let It Go as a bunch of different Disney characters. He would go to Disney parks and do his imitations for the characters. And that's how he got an actual job in the industry. So it's like finding imitators, it's not as hard as it used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was an episode of Make Some Noise. Yes. With three imitators, and one of them was Cameron Logsdon, and he did a fantastic Morty, actually. Pretty good Morty. Like, one of the prompts involved him being Morty. Mm-hmm. And he did a very good job. But I mean, like, imitation is there's always been a subsection of voice acting where imitators really thrive. Mm-hmm. The original voice actor for Yakko, pretty much all of his other work is doing imitation of, like, when a cartoon would have like a celebrity character, like cameo. And I remember in one, there was a special a very long time ago. I think it was called like Behind the Voice or Make the Voice, something like that, where it's about voice actors, and it had a lot of like traditional ones. And the current voice of Porky Pig came on, and he explained like how to break up a sentence like Porky Pig. And then he like did it. And then he goes, and nobody else can fucking do that. And that's how I stay employed.
Exactly. It takes a lot of talent to be an imitator, because some people cannot do that.
Yeah, there's very few voices I can imitate. So if they ever make a new Sly Cooper game and something happens to the voice of Bentley, I'm available.
All right. So next up is recommendations. Before we do this, John and Luffy, do you guys have anything to recommend?
I can, but I have one question. Do they have to be Christmas related? Because no. Because I have one, and because the episode that I was on got a little borked, I can recommend some. You know what? Since I'm already talking, I will go first. So I will start with a Christmas one. This is a re-recommendation from my last appearance on the podcast, because it was over 2 years ago, and there was an unfortunate audio mishap with that one. Long story, but a little movie called Fat Man. Now, what is Fat Man? It's this one movie by, I forget the name of the director, but I found out about it from the Gigapoots podcast I listened to, and they did a cursed content episode on it, thinking it was going to be bad. They ended up enjoying it. So the premise behind it is, here's the one caveat. Santa Claus, played by Mel Gibson, that is the caveat to the film. He plays a despondent Santa Claus who is just down in the dumps, sad because kids are getting naughtier and naughtier every year, and he just doesn't have the Christmas magic anymore. And one kid doesn't get what he wants for Christmas, and this kid suspiciously looks like a little tiny Ben Shapiro, doesn't get what he wants for Christmas, so he steals his rich grandmother's money to hire a hitman played by Walton Goggins to murder Santa Claus.
I was just looking at it like a trailer on Amazon Prime. Like, is that Walton Goggins?
Yes, Walton Goggins plays the assassin, and he eats every scene he's in.
Oh my God.
And this is like kind of a dark comedy. It is played straight. An assassin literally driving to the North Pole to fucking gun down Santa Claus, and they have a shootout fight, and it's really fucking funny. Like that's the thing I love most about it. Like, they have a stupid ass idea and they run with it.
Yeah, I appreciate it when movies
now,
do
I
that.
understand that there might be a caveat to wanting to watch this because it stars known anti-Semite Mel Gibson. If you are able to overlook that, you are in for a blast. I think he does a pretty good job as a depressed, drunk Santa Claus. And I'm surprised people haven't decried that as woke, because Mrs. Claus is black.
Ooh.
Okay, so Luffy, do you have anything you would like to recommend?
Are we going in like one per person until we go around all the way?
Do you have a second one?
I got three, but like I think that was my only Christmas one. Hold on a second. Oh, you know what?
Let me do two.
Oh, we're only doing two? Okay, so then since we're going to keep this Christmas ones and I'm re-recommending, I'll do this again. So one of my favorite underrated Christmas specials is Frosty Returns. It is somewhat considered a sequel to Frosty the Snowman, but it doesn't star Jackie Gleason. It's not made by Rankin Bass. I think it's made by the same company that did the Peanut specials, I think. It stars John Goodman as Frosty the Snowman this time, and he befriends this girl named Holly after that, when then they're about to do the winter carnival, but everybody there really hates winter. So then the CEO of some corporation, played by Brian Doyle Murray, creates this Winter Wheeze aerosol spray that melts snow on contact, and it's basically about them trying to stop that from happening, or Frosty will melt. Unironically, one of the funniest fucking Christmas specials I've ever watched. This has, after watching Eight Crazy Nights, I think you guys need to pick me up on like a humorous Christmas special. This one has jokes that are legitimately funny. I have cracked up every time I watch this.
There's a song in it called Let There Be Snow, and it's a very, very catchy song.
Oh, yeah. And I think I remember, and the Holly's mother's played by the woman who plays Andy's mom in Toy Story. And I remember one joke had me in stitches the first time I heard it recently. She locked one of her friends in like the freezer by accident, and she goes up to "Now, Holly, I just found your friend locked in the freezer. Now, how are you going to feel when he has to ask you to pay for his therapy?" I doubled over my seat laughing at
That's
that.
hilarious.
It is a legitimately funny special. I know there's a lot of schlocky, feel good holiday specials. This one is like pitch perfect, good, and a good palate cleanser for what we just had to watch.
All right,
Okay, Luffy, you're next.
Okay, do they have to be Christmas recommendations?
No.
Okay, cool.
I had alternates, but I'll save them for next time.
Wait, did you say yes or no? Sorry, no.
No,
Okay,
they don't
good.
have to be Christmas.
I probably recommended this. I can do shows too. Just making sure.
Yeah. You
Awesome.
can recommend
Okay.
anything.
I may have recommended this before. I may recommend it again. But the trailer for the 3rd season of Invincible just dropped. If you have not seen Invincible, you should fucking see Invincible.
Yes.
It is high gore. I will put that forward. It is based on the 2006 comic series by Robert Kirkman, but updated and deals with Mark Grayson, played by Steve Wen, who I love him so much. J.K. Simmons is in it. Sandra Oh is in it. Jillian Jacobs.
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill is there.
Yeah.
The cast is fucking insane, and it is a play on the what if Superman was actually evil, thought process, similar to The Boys, but executed very differently. The animation is gorgeous. The voice acting is spectacular. If you haven't seen it, you should see it. Climb all up in that. It is a fantastic show. My second, go ahead.
No, I just want to say it shocked me that Seth Rogen produced that show.
And
Seth Rogen actually produces a lot of comic book things. The only one I will say don't watch is Preacher, but that's for personal reasons that I'm not going into on a podcast.
Yeah, and Luffy's recommendation of Invincible on their last appearance on this podcast is what got me to watch it. So I will back that up. You need to go watch it. Like, I was considering it already, but then when Luffy recommended it on their, what was it, on Paprika, I was like, okay, fuck it, I'll watch it, and then I did.
Okay, and my second one is, if you haven't seen it, Yellow Jackets. Yellow Jackets is what I can only say the sapphic answer to what NBC's Hannibal was. There is it is a non-linear timeline that hops between the modern day and the 1990s, where a group of soccer players, a la the soccer players in the Andes, crash land and are stranded in the woods for 19 months. It's very eerie, but it's also quite gory at parts. And it's not much of a spoiler, because if you know anything about soccer teams crashing in the Andes, there is cannibalism eventually. And
I need to see that on the cover of the next poster, a review quote. There's cannibalism eventually.
I have to tell you that I actually was like, I spent the whole first season being like, okay, but when are they going to eat people? Okay, so are they going to eat people? And then they finally get to it in like season 2, and I'm like, eat people!
When do we get to the meal? This is the meal.
It's very good. It is truly like Lord of the Flies-esque, but with women, like unhinged girls, which is so much fun. Because I feel like girls don't get to be unhinged enough.
That's true.
We need more unhinged fail women in media.
Yes. And there's a whole fucking soccer team of them. And it's very good. The first season is on Netflix, and then you can pursue other ways of acquiring it. Yar har, if you will. But the first season is on Netflix. It is good. I liked it. I like it a lot.
All right. So, Jad, do you want to go next, or do you want me to go next?
I'll go. I probably recommend this the last holiday season, but I'm recommending it again. The Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special.
Yes.
It was one of the last projects James Gunn did for Marvel Studios before he left for DC. It focuses on both Mantis and Drax, both trying to learn about how Star-Lord, aka Peter Quill, he didn't really have many happy Christmases growing up, especially he growing up in space. So they decided to try to wish him a Merry Christmas by giving him a gift that they suspect he would always want. Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon.
Bacon.
Yeah, they just go to LA and kidnap him.
Poor Kevin.
Yeah.
It's what he gets for stealing Steve Martin's taxi in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
It's a great, because you see a lot more interaction between Mantis and Drax, who absolutely steal the show, especially with how unfamiliar they are with Earth.
Dave Bautista and Palm Clement, they have really good chemistry.
Yep.
Good for them.
Yeah, it's written and directed by James Gunn. It's streaming on Disney Plus, and I definitely recommend it if you're a big Guardians of the Galaxy or James Gunn fan.
I don't think you even need the Guardians of the Galaxy knowledge to watch it. It's just a funny Christmas special.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's like a standalone thing.
Yep.
And my second recommendation is a classic, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, specifically the animated special from the 60s or 70s.
1964.
The OG.
It's as old as my dad was.
Yes.
The OG.
It's one of the first animated TV specials based on Dr. Seuss's work. And it was directed by the legend himself, Chuck Jones.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, based on...
just a quick thing is also the song "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch." It's voiced by the guy who used to be the voice of Tony the Tiger.
Yeah, he was also in the Sportsmen, the barbershop quartet that did a lot of songs for Disney movies and theme park. Like they did Grim Grinning Ghosts and the Heffalumps and Woozle song that Rooty and I despise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and crap! I forgot what.
You're talking. You're talking about the Grim Grinch.
Dr. Seuss wrote the screen.
Yeah, Dr. Seuss wrote the screenplay, and Boris Karloff voices both the Grinch and the narrator, and he does an amazing job.
It's really funny because every year I watch James Rolfe's Monster Madness, where he talks in depth about Boris Karloff's horror career. So whenever I hear his voice in horror films, I'm like, "You're the Grinch."
But it makes sense. It's like perfect casting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his song, "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch," it's a holiday classic. I will not take any remakes of that song. Ever.
Oh, yeah. All the ones I hear working my retail job are fucking disgusting.
I know. Why are all of them so bad? I remember when I worked at Goodwill, I think it might have been the Glee version, and I'm like, why are they not playing the original version? This one's awful.
The 3 words that best describe these covers are, and I quote, stink, stank, stunk.
Yay. Okay, so it's my turn. So, hey, Jad, who is my personal hero?
I believe that would be Jim Henson.
Okay, and Luffy, what do I love more than almost anything?
Cute things, puppets, Muppets.
All right. So, John, what do you think my favorite Christmas movie is?
The one I watch every Christmas Eve night.
Yes, I am finally recommending the Muppet Christmas Carol. It's not Christmas unless I recommend one Christmas thing having to do with the Muppets. And it's kind of funny because a lot of people have said the Muppet Christmas Carol is probably one of the more accurate Christmas carols.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think it's because one of the reasons is they actually have the character of Charles Dickens, the author, in it. Gonzo plays him, but he says, I'm Charles Dickens. It's like, it's a whole running gag too, because Rizzo is with Gonzo because like they're a duo. And at the beginning he goes, no, you're not. And he even like calls him Charles throughout the movie and stuff. It's just like, here's the thing. If it's like, oh, this is going to be goofy. It is. But the thing is there's only like one main human character. There are human actors, but the one main human actor is the amazing, talented Michael Caine. Michael Caine treats this seriously. They're like, okay, you're going to be in a Muppet movie. He's like, okay, give me the script. And he treats it like it's serious. He treats Kermit and Miss Piggy and Fonzie like they're real people. And that's one of the reasons I think the film works and still lasts, is because it's like he doesn't care if these are puppets. They are actors to him. And he, I think, is probably my favorite Scrooge. But I think also what really helps sell this is the music. The songs in this are still fantastic. I'm pretty sure Paul Williams wrote a bunch of them. And now, thanks to modern technology, if you want to watch the Muppet Carol like it was intended, with the song that was sung by, what's her name? Belle? Is it Belle? I can't remember her name. But,
the actor's name or the girl's name?
The girl's name. The one that Scrooge falls in love with? Yeah,
and that song was a real tearjerker. I hate that they cut that.
Yeah, so see, for some reason...
you can thank Jeffrey Katzenberg for that.
Yeah, Jeffrey Katzenberg
He's good at making people cry, and for different reasons.
He's like, kids are stupid. They're not going to want the emotional song in this movie. And for some reason took it out in like the DVD release. But if you watch it on Disney Plus, you can watch the original version.
He has categorically and historically been wrong about a lot of things.
He really has. And like also see, I think another thing is, so, there's 3 ghosts. The Ghost of Christmas Past still really freaks me out because this is one of the few Ghosts of Christmas Past that doesn't say anything. It doesn't speak at all. And he's this huge, like, Grim Reaper figure with no face. He is legitimately terrifying. I'm in my 30s now, and it still freaks me out. Now, I'm also recommending something that Jad recommended
real quick,
a few years ago.
Rudy, real quick. This is related to your recommendation. There's a news story we forgot. So it's related to the Game Awards coming on Thursday. Jeff Keighley has a pattern he does every year. He invites one of the Muppets to present every year. And guess who he's inviting this year?
Who?
Statler and Waldorf.
Oh my God, that's fantastic!
Ever since he's been bringing the Muppets to the Game Awards, those are the 2 I want the most. I want them to comment on every trailer that's not gameplay. It's like,
that's gonna be hilarious. That's perfect.
When's that game coming out? I don't know. They haven't laid off the staff yet.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for the Game Awards now. I'm actually gonna watch it this year. But
you want to watch with me? I'm doing a stream watch party.
Yes. When is it? This Thursday?
This Thursday at 7:30 Eastern.
I gotta write that down, but I'm gonna join you. But my next recommendation, it's something Jad recommended a long time ago, and I'm going to recommend it too because this is such an adorable special, and I feel like a lot of people don't know about it, and it's called Olive, the Other Reindeer. So what happens is a Jack Russell Terrier named Olive. She's in her doghouse decorating for Christmas, and she hears on the news that Santa says there's going to be no Christmas because Blitzen is out of commission. And he says, we might not be able to fly because even with all of the other reindeer, it won't be enough. But her pet Flair goes, oh, he just said you. He said your name. And she's like, no, he said all of the other reindeer. Goes, no, he said your name, Olive. So Olive goes on this adventure to get to the North Pole to be the other reindeer. And it's just such a cute little film. But also, I love the villain. of the movie, it's a disgruntled postman who hates Christmas.
Voiced by Dan Castellaneta.
And he's so really good in this, because there's even a song called Christmas, Bob, Bug, and Hum that he sings. It's really, really good. And the singer of REM, he sings a song on this.
Oh, how about that?
Yes, called We're Not So Bad. And I love the art style. It's a really unique art style. It's super cute.
It looks like Paper Mario.
Yeah, kind of. There's also this really cute, adorable penguin. His name is Martini, but he's like a con artist penguin. It's just the relationship between him and Olive is so cute. It's an absolutely adorable little film. If you want something cute and fun, something to share with the kids, Olive the Other Reindeer is perfect.
And he's voiced by Matt. I mean, it's produced by Matt Groening, creator of The Simpsons and Futurama.
What is it with penguins being secretly evil? The Madagascar penguins, the thing from Wallace and Gromit?
I don't know.
Maybe the Madagascar penguins
sinister.
are evil. They're just like
they're just dicks. They're
secretive.
They're like the dolphins. They're like the criminals of the sea.
Yeah. All right. This was a very long episode, but God, I had so much fun talking about this movie.
Needless to say, you might not get this episode back for like a week.
That's fine. That's fine. So if you guys celebrate Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah. Don't watch this movie.
Watch something else.
Give yourself a happier Hanukkah.
Yeah.
So the next, oh gosh, I don't know. This one might be worse. Next time, me and Jad are reviewing the Rat City Kids Christmas.
Oh, that's objectively worse. I would rather watch 8 Crazy Nights again.
Pray for us. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Bum biddy 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 bye bye. And shut that door.